I was a little late. I lost track of time. Straight up, not even gonna lie. We're driving in front of a tornado-warning cell that's outside of Louisville, Kentucky. Worst case scenario. We're heading down towards the town of Shelbyville, which is just outside of Louisville. That way we don't have to fight rush hour traffic in Louisville. We're live with Ryan. You'll hear him in the background as usual.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Ryan, I think we have our next cycle completed here southwest of Paoli in Indiana for another tornado that might be ongoing now. We're a little
You're going to be answering comments.
Switch the Louisville radar here. But this, I believe this storm, as it goes down Highway 150 to the southeast here, and generally approaching I-64 as well, is
we're on
still
64.
Heavily tornadic, and I think there
Heavily
will be
tornadic.
issue for this. So trying to work as best as possible together with
We're
the
about to
National
get on
Weather Service
64.
and
Andy's saying the storm is rapidly
at this point, I also
intensifying
want
heading to
to
Louisville.
emphasize that this storm
This is a worst case
you're not
scenario
going to
for
be able to see
Louisville.
the tornado in this more than likely. We have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere out in these areas, and as the supercell has existed for a while, it's grown in size. It has a lot more rain
Hi.
associated with it, and this means that this new tornado, if it is ongoing here, southeast of French Lick and southwest of Paoli in Orange County, Indiana, is more than likely rain wrapped. In addition to that, we might already be
So,
seeing another.
we're probably not gonna see a tornado today.
So I think we're
It's gonna be
having
rain-wrapped.
a cycle of this storm producing a tornado. Hopefully, all this week from this point on.
You might see the right edge. Chris Hall, y'all.
Everybody know ahead of time to be weather aware.
Yeah, guys, we are chasing our home state. We have a special guest, Jerry, Kentucky.life on TikTok.
Absolutely.
Let's see, turn
Thank
the camera
you,
around here.
So much.
She don't want to be in it.
There's
There's Jerry. We're on the back roads in Kentucky between Indiana and Shelbyville, heading down towards
There's an
I-64.
alarming amount of amateur photos of tornadoes.
There's been a
I just
lot of
wanna
tornadoes
emphasize
already
that, you know,
confirmed
if you're
today,
under a
so
tornado warning today,
it is an
it's a
outbreak
very
technically.
Indiana thing to go to try.
We
and take a
never
picture
do
of it,
this.
but don't try.
We never do the
Just take
view
the-
like this. But
take
we're going to
shelter
do that
with
today
Chris and-
just
and
because
our guys
you might
take
want to see my
photos
facial
and we'll
expressions
let you know
today.
what
I
it
don't
looks
know.
like, because it happened very fast in
Hi.
this situation, and we don't
Oh,
want
yeah,
to put
I got
anybody,
the hat.
in danger, of course. But yeah,
Try not to
obviously
lose this
we've
one.
got- there's a ton of them out there. I'm retweeting
Why-
a lot of
hi.
these.
I wonder if they were watching.
A lot of tornadoes just in the past hour across Indiana.
Yeah, she was
and
sweeping.
there's
She
a
just
lot
goes,
of,
"Hi."
Video of that floating around. So
Oh.
thankfully, so far,
Everybody
I've not
just waves
seen
at you in this
any
town.
sort of
I don't even know where I'm at.
devastation per se, but definitely some extreme damage. Oh, well, never mind. I saw something that changed that. Okay, so once again, I am retweeting some of
He
this
said
information.
extreme
Carly is
oh,
doing
never mind,
a
there's
much
something
better
to
job
change that.
behind the scenes of compiling it and relaying it.
Are we in
that actually makes
Owenton?
sense.
No,
There's
Eminence.
just so
Okay.
many different reports
We're in
and
Eminence.
pictures and
There's
stuff
the
flying
church.
in. It's kind of all. a mess
We
right
are
now.
just
But
ahead.
if you
We're
do
probably
want
not
to
50
help,
miles,
us tell that
75 miles
story,
from
if
this
you wanna tag us in
tornado-warned
something or
storm.
Send us something that's newsworthy. Please do so on Twitter at Ryan Hall, y'all. And if you're just now tuning in,
And if
guys,
you're wondering
this
who
is
that is,
wall
that's
to wall
Ryan. You probably know
coverage
who he is.
of a tornado outbreak. That's
We are partnered with him, so I like to have him on in the background because make sure my stream's still running and everything. And actually, the stream for Ryan just below the phone here. We have a big setup here in the car today. That is a nice Mustang.
Georgia, South Carolina, Arkansas right now. We're covering those intermittently, but we kind of had to focus intensely on these storms in
Nice.
Indiana. As
Grandpa
these have been
driving
some of
5
the
miles an hour,
stronger
it's how
ones
it's supposed to
that
be.
we've seen today. We've got another new tornado warning. We've got 5 now for
If you're just tuning
Jackson
in, make
County,
sure you
Indiana.
slap that like
So
button.
that
It's
is
much
gonna
appreciated.
include,
If you want to donate to the channel within our pinned comment, our supporter PayPal and Cash App, it's all much appreciated. It goes right back into the channel for chasing
and the I-65
hotels,
corridor
gas,
south of
food,
Jonesville
and so on and so
Austin,
forth.
Indiana. This is,
We're
a dangerous
we're
situation.
in our
We're
home
going to
state today
shelter.
of Kentucky.
There's your road
We're
tape.
heading down to
Okay.
Shelbyville, which
It's
is
a
about
really
12
good
miles away to get in front of this cell that's
Shields,
coming into
Houston,
Metro Louisville, Kentucky. That wouldn't be shocked to see a warning come out of that
cycle
soon.
of the storm that
We
has
actually
been
may have to
causing
go
all these
south of
problems since
Shelbyville.
way back when it was near Shoals in Indiana.
Oh, I thought
This
you
is
showed
the
me
storm
something.
that's going to be coming towards Louisville.
I can't read that.
You're under
It's on
a,
here on my end.
a severe thunderstorm warning in Marengo, Fredericksburg, but I would be very surprised if we didn't see a tornado warning issued here soon for places like Marengo, Milltown, and Moberly as that storm continues to progress off to the south and east. This storm and the storm just to the north of it have a history of producing tornadoes. I don't think we're done with that yet, so we'll continue to watch that.
Live near Shelbyville.
Let's come over and take a look at Storm Chaser Garrett
Storm
Smith's.
Chaser. She said, isn't that dangerous? And I sent her a picture of that tornado.
He is in
And I'm like,
Aldrich,
can be. And she goes,
Indiana.
you really don't care about life? I'm like, life's too short.
He is showing us the base of that storm.
Thank you so
near,
much, Richard, for
Shelby.
that super chat. It's much
So
appreciated.
this has been.
Wait, I could do that now. Thank you for the snooper chat.
Up just to the west of Indianapolis, it kind of went through Indianapolis, and just to the south and east of Indianapolis.
We're almost down into Shelbyville, Kentucky, near the I-64 corridor. Swap back over to the
It looks
radar.
like it might be trying again.
That's going to be our storm. There's nothing around it. There's absolutely nothing around us except way back here.
Moscow.
There's
to the northeast
nothing
of
holding that
Middletown
back.
And Indiana.
Which way is that head?
Moving over towards Richland and Clarksburg in Indiana. No tornado
That is
warning
beelining
associated with that
for
right now. Would be surprised
Louisville.
if they issued a new one for that very short.
Actually, I think we'll go on down to Mount Washington. Direct me to Mount Washington. Is there an east option out of Mount Washington? I hope so. Because it's going to go... Actually, no, just keep it in Shelbyville for right now.
Gee.
And we're going to get an update from our chasers as well. We're going to start with Carly. Go ahead, Carly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give you as much information as
Already have
possible.
damage
I know
reported
a lot
out of...
I've waited to see what's happening with them. I want to give you as much as I have. So we talked about the Crane County storm, the Crane storm that went through in Martin County. We talked about the fact that that was a military base. There are a lot of bunkers in that area. So as of right now, the only
Yep, slap that like button. It's much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I have no clue how many subscribers we're up to, but I know it's an awesome amount. Y'all are awesome.
Whether or not the base itself took a direct hit, so I'll wait and see if there's any updates there. The real damage is coming out of Johnson County, as I've mentioned multiple times before. That was the New Whiteland and Greenwood area. At this point, we've seen multiple videos and pictures of that storm road. Multiple buildings, as we saw again, had their roofs torn off. A lot of damage in there. Civilians have actually
still up.
come in at the point to help
Okay.
bring the chainsaws in and clear the area as much as they
I was
can,
talking
so
about
emergency
Ryan's, yeah.
personnel can get in. And really, unfortunately, we are hearing a report that a husband and daughter are currently missing. I will keep you updated on that the second I have an update for you.
Husband and
Okay,
daughter.
thank you, Carly,
Listen.
for all that information. Once again, it's important that we continue to talk about the future, what's happening with these next storms, but it's also very important that we talk about what just happened with these storms. We have a lot of people that tune in from these places that have family members. We
It's
don't
going
wanna
through a
just
cycle.
disband and disregard
What's it
every
doing?
town that gets passed by the storm, because we want to keep you updated on what's happening and what happened throughout this entire event. So thank you, Carly, for that.
Cams were showing
Storms
storms coming through Louisville this way, so I think this will be the storm. If not, well,
we're at a point
we're
earlier
good.
where
We're
we
in good luck.
had
We're in
about
good shape.
10 supercells that were trying to produce tornadoes at the same time.
You know that one that says it was coming through
It looks
Cincinnati?
like quite a few of those were successful.
You know that
with
one that said it was coming through
One of them, at
Cincinnati?
least,
Yeah.
was,
It's no more. There's nothing
very
there.
Damaging.
Maybe that one.
There's video of that.
But that'll be
where we're
going
trying to look in to see
back
if
there,
we can
where
show
we
you
just
that
come
here.
from.
Just to kind of keep you updated on what these things look like, what kind of situation we're dealing with today. It's scientifically proven that if I can show you the tornado that's coming for you, you're more likely to take it seriously and ultimately survive it. So a couple of interesting areas that we're watching right now. Just to the north and west of
There's a
Louisville,
few
Kentucky,
people supposed to
we've
be
got
joining
a
in
rotating
from,
supercell
Snapchat
that
and
is
stuff.
getting ready to
Awesome.
move into Marengo, Hardinsburg, and Fredericksburg. We don't know for sure what's going on with that storm right now, but this one does have a history of producing tornadoes. There's some rotation on it. For some reason or another,
Try to
right now there isn't a
focus.
tornado warning.
That way it makes me look
But I
better because I
imagine that if
need
there's
that.
any increase whatsoever in that rotation, we will see that. So just make sure you're ready. We're
Did they
a couple
extend
counties
tornado
away
warning
now
up there?
in
Yeah.
Louisville from this storm.
You know the
eventually
storm we
making it
left?
over
We
there
were
to
going
you.
to Madison.
And then, of course,
Tornado
you guys
warning
in
cells going right
Seymour,
for Madison.
Crawfordsville, and Brownstown. You guys are under a tornado warning right now in a similar situation where you've got a rotating storm up to north and
I
west.
like telling
Not
Charlie
necessarily rotating enough right now to cause a tornado.
At the worst, we can blast
but,
back
I mean,
up.
it could change very quickly as the stuff continues to move off to the south and east. And then probably our more impressive storms right now are up here in Michigan and Ohio, northern Ohio, where we've got 80-mile-per-hour winds getting ready to blast through Archbold, Wauseon, and then of course into Adrian in Michigan. So make sure you guys are taking shelter just as if you were under a tornado warning if you're up there in Adrian, because 80-mile-per-hour winds can do damage just like a weak tornado can. Okay.
Poor power burner, that Lord going off.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm having that.
I got you. What is that, 4-1 now?
Okay. Yeah, so Willation or Willation, I believe, just sent me this video on Twitter of one of the tornadoes. I believe this is the one that we were
Almost
looking
looks
at
like
near,
this one's dying out.
Crane, or
If
the
it
one near
is, we're
Shoal.
boogieing back north.
He says that this is near Stones Crossing Road and State Road 135. So this was taken, earlier. This is not currently happening right now, but just to kind of show you what we're up against.
We're gonna give it 10 minutes.
With these storms today. Very photogenic, very classic, tornadoes that you would normally kind of see, in the spring level, but we're also seeing a lot of rain-wrapped tornadoes like we talked about earlier. This is, once again, a lot of damage was just done there, and notice how quickly it happened. That's the kind of situation that we're dealing with today as well. You'll get a really beefy looking supercell that doesn't produce a damaging tornado for a long enough time to produce like this big, massive, deep CC drop. We're not getting a lot of confirmed warnings and stuff because of that, but everybody that's in the path of any storm today that's tornado warned needs to be aware that something like this could happen in the course of 30 seconds and then lift. So that's why it's important to take shelter regardless of the level of the warning and all that stuff. Okay, so thank you so much for Willation for sending that in.
That one up there just don't look good though.
Incredible footage
At all.
there of that tornado. That was the Greenwood and New Whiteland tour south of Indianapolis. Are they? Yeah. Still, again, that's the kind of situation that we're dealing with today. Let's look at this. We've got Trevor McAllister in Indiana. I've seen a couple of baseballs today. We've got a lot of large hail out there, that's for sure. And that's one of the things that, whether we get a tornado or not in Louisville, it's one of the things that we're worried about, as already we're dealing with around inch and 3/4 size hail up here near Paoli.
I think we can do 1 3/4 size hail.
So a
Without
lot of
shattering
these
the windshield.
storms seem to be, they seem to be kind of losing steam a little bit as they kind of work into their own shroud of cloud debris that they've created here. So hopefully that trend continues. But we've still got some incredibly intense storms with large hail and rotating updrafts moving into some very populated areas. So I'm nervous to start thinking that we might be on a little bit of a downgrade here. I'm not sure that that's necessarily the case. Okay, let's.
Cameras a little bit.
Yeah, because this
Every time I
Spot
want
on
to
there,
do
guarantee
an update from my field reporter that they
that,
lose service. Let's
guarantee
just
it's
get an
that.
update from Riley. Riley, any
I see
updates?
what's
You guys figured out where you're going? yet. What's going on out there?
Red light, just FYI, if I hit my brakes.
Chris, we're live on YouTube. Just looking for an update whenever you're ready.
Right now, we're going up the parking garage right now.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Ryan. We are heading down towards Shelbyville, Kentucky, around the I-64 corridor to get in front of the storm that's coming into Louisville. Looks like it may be either trying to fizzle down or it's going through a cyclone stage. I really wouldn't see any reasoning of why it would be fizzling down, unfortunately. So it leads me to think it's cycling. It's in the best area for tornadoes, in my opinion, especially from Cincinnati all the way down to Louisville. That would be your corridor, I think, personally, for the best tornado chances. But we're going to stick with this one and see how it acts. At the worst, we can shoot back up to that one that's currently tornado warned in southeast Indiana. Trying to fizzle down or it's going through a cyclone stage. I really wouldn't see any reasoning of why it would be fizzling down, unfortunately. So it leads me to think it's cycling. It's in the best area for tornadoes, in my opinion, especially from Cincinnati all the way down to Louisville. That would be your corridor, I think, personally, for the best tornado chances. But we're going to stick with this one and see how it acts. At the worst, we can shoot back up to that one that's currently tornado warned in southeast Indiana.
Hey Ryan, just giving you a quick update. Seems like all the streams up north are struggling. It's lacking some sort of parameter space up there, so right now we're just dropping south to all the tornado warned Arctic supercells.
Welcome, Nick.
Okay, so that was an update from both Chris and Nick Gorman, who are out there chasing today. We did have a view of a tornado from Storm Chaser Luke. Up there near
Are we in Shelbyville?
No.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
So,
sorry.
That
go
is
straight down 64,
all
find
of
a
those
gas
guys
station.
were around that storm, and now they're kind of dispersing off to the south and east a little bit. So we'll keep on keeping up with them, and we've also got an update from
There it is.
Andy.
It's
Go ahead,
cycled. There it is. Guarantee it's what he's about to
Got
say.
a couple of things to talk about, but first and foremost, this is the most important one, is back near Shoals. We have another cell developing behind that.
Guarantee he's going to talk about that.
Supercell that produced a quite an intense tornado, I think, north of Cusco, Indiana, and west
Look at
of
that
French
hook coming
Lick.
back
There's
out of it.
another one back there that's currently undergoing a merger, so there's a shower that's punching into it, and right there from the Louisville radar, I'm noticing a convergence signature there. So we have winds kind of coming together there, and that can turn into rotation. If this turns into a situation where another tornado warning is issued through maybe the eastern part of Martin County, maybe into Orange County for French Lick and Paoli, just want to make sure that we get the information out there clearly that that's not an old warning. If it does come through, that would be another one for a different storm. So if that does happen, we want to make sure we have a massive and quick response of every shelter once again.
I was about to say, what is that on the windshield?
Out time for that. If we
Oh,
keep
Denver.
talking about that storm and it looks like it's coming together and there's another warning, that would be one of the most important things, is that we have clear communication. In addition to that leading supercell, I'm sure you have an eye on that. Again, I think that's deserving of a tornado warning at some point
What we're
here.
talking
It's
about.
definitely getting a little bit tighter in rotation right near Marengo.
Hey Ryan, it's Chris. One more thing. We're watching that cell coming into Louisville. I don't know if you're probably looking at it. You can see a new appendage trying to come back out of it and maybe even try to tighten up in rotation. So that's the one we're going to be going after. We'll get you a view out here pretty shortly.
Indiana,
To the town and
Central
headquarters
Ohio for
surgery
Dayton
zone.
and so forth is capped right now. So there's a bunch of.
Hey Ryan, it's Chris. One more thing. We're watching that cell coming into Louisville.
Spreading area.
You're probably
going off
looking
the
at it.
surface,
You
and
can
it's
see a new appendage trying to come back out
right now,
of
but
it.
it's less
Tighten
supported
up
for
in
severe
rotation. So
weather.
that's the one we're going to be going after. We'll
That
get you a
doesn't
view
mean
out
you
here
should drop your
shortly.
it doesn't mean you should drop your guard over here in Dayton,
I didn't mean
Ohio,
to cut
and so
Andy
forth.
off.
But I hope that
It happens
just
a lot.
lends itself to being less of an issue in these areas. So I hope these storms continue to die off. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say over there. We'll keep monitoring it, but right now I am hopefully dropping my guard just a little bit there, so that these storms are not going to do as much because of that cap on the atmosphere over there. So sorry if I talk over anybody. I can't hear them, so you just gotta make sure you hear this information in some.
Thank you very much, meteorologist Andy Hill. Absolutely, everything you said I agree with, and also there's a couple other things that I want to mention. First of all, here's what the rotation looks like on that, the leading supercell moving towards Louisville. Okay, so it does look like it's trying once again to wrap up a little bit, and as well as the one behind it. So we're watching both of those very closely. I do want to share with you
have to get
once
the left lane, yep.
some information about some of these storms that we're
How much is gas? 350.
Indianapolis. So the
360.
tornado we're getting out of
I'm glad I got
Jackson County,
gas.
Indiana. That's what was associated with that video that I showed you earlier. These are some
I did. I
screenshots
seen
from
a
that
3
video
and a
showing
6
the
again.
extent of some of the damage that was done. You can see circled here are roof trusses being lofted, very high into the air. So this looks like it was doing extremely significant damage at this point. So I just wanted to kind of point that out as we continue to watch, possibly more scenes like this unfold
Tampa, Florida.
as the storms move off to the south and east. But like Anthony said as well, a lot of the storms on the northern extent of this kind of arc
Rest in peace,
of
headphones
storms
users.
are dying out.
Is it
very
that
quickly.
loud?
The ones going
Sorry.
towards Cincinnati.
Oh, you're talking about the gas
are
price.
not really,
Yep, sorry.
Showing any sign that
Had a jump scare there with a 3 and a 6.
that continues to
Poor
happen.
Jackie.
Hey, direct me to Mount Washington. I think I turned right and go up and exit and go down.
Concerned with earlier today. Not a lot has changed
Yeah.
other than some of the recent
I think I get on the
developments that are
interstate and then
leading
drop
to,
south.
the shrinkage of these storms. So we'll see over the next hour or so if that environment starts to recover at all. And then go ahead, Riley.
That's what I thought.
Hey Ryan, so that is the parking garage was another bus. We got to the third level. You cannot access the fourth level, and also there was no service again. So we are attempting to get to a different level now. There is some nice matted up above us. I'm not sure if you can
Mattis.
see those on our feed. It looks like our camera's messed up.
Okay. All right.
You can see the storm in front of us, guys. That's that distant storm just on the other side of Louisville.
If you can still hear me, like, you guys can do whatever you want to do. If you're having a real hard time in Cincinnati, maybe you could shoot south. Maybe get a little bit closer to home. It's really up to you.
They're in Cincinnati.
Obviously
They'll
some
never
of
get
these
back home alone.
stronger storms
Taylor Swift
are going to be
concert.
down that way anyways, between Louisville and Lexington. So you guys have some creative freedom here as to what you do next. Just keep me updated. Let's talk as much as possible, and we'll help you get there, okay? All right, so that's our field crew out there near Cincinnati. Having a really hard time finding a spot to set up. But thankfully, it looks like we might not need them there. Hopefully, the Cincinnati area continues to look like it's going to be dodged here as we watch these storms move on to the east. Unfortunately, it's not getting. This storm continues to look impressive. In fact, some of the more recent scans look, almost as impressive as it was trying to look earlier. So we
Yeah, we're on
have to
64.
watch this very closely. Let's hope that it skids off to the south of Louisville a little bit. But if it doesn't, we got to start getting ready
I don't
now
know
for
where
at
we're at
least
now. We're heading
a
to
big hailstorm
Simpsonville.
in Louisville.
Where do I turn?
If you know anybody in this area, let them know. Give them a heads up. We've seen a bunch of tornadoes
Come on.
today.
14 miles.
This is not your
Why does
average
it keep
severe
going
tornado.
forward?
These storms are packing a little bit more of a punch than usual. So let's make sure everybody knows. Once again, rush hour traffic here in and around the
13
Louisville
miles. You
area.
take an exit onto 265.
13, yeah, that's Louisville.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. That's what you
Just
wanted.
because it's one of the better views that we've seen of this thing. Just to reiterate what some of these tornadoes have looked like today. Here's that view from Will Ation, who sent this in to us on
Is there not a road that
Twitter
goes
there.
down through here? Jesus Christ, if we go into
I
Louisville,
do want to emphasize as well that even
There
if
might
we
be
don't
a
see more of
there's
this,
not. Just keep it.
what
3
we are
miles.
going to start seeing is
Gotta go through,
more
Simpsonville.
reports of damaging hail and damaging winds. At some point, even these more discrete storms are
keep
going
us
to kind of
still on
congeal
Louisville.
together
Just
into a
Keep it
line.
on what we had.
We're going to see damaging winds probably all the way down into places like Bowling Green, Kentucky. Elizabethtown, Frankfort, Lexington, all those places. And then even farther east into Ohio, past Toledo, right? And then even farther south into Tennessee as well, the later we go into the night. This is still the beginning stages of this severe weather outbreak. It was always other threats. So I just want to remind everybody that we're not just talking
Oh, so
about
I had to
Indiana today.
GPS it to
It's just
Shepherdsville to
been
get
where
it to
all the
avoid
action is
Louisville?
so far.
No? I don't know.
It's literally they take me the same way this one's taking me.
Hey, Ryan, do you have a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're looking at our options here, and we're really not seeing anything. The other thing that we are noting is there is no, like, decent storm coming this way. However, we are
Yes, there is.
15 minutes from Louisville. That's a decision for you to make if you want us to just intercept this cloud line here or attempt to get to Louisville to do something there.
You're not gonna make it to Louisville, bro.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and have Chandra unmute Zoom, and we'll have a discussion about that real quick.
You're not making it to Louisville, bro.
All right, so our live field reporter unable to be in the field. I just want to see what we think we can do here next. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. You're not unmuted. Hey, okay, I can hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you. So you guys are in Cincinnati right now, and you're thinking about going south. What do you think, Chandra? Is that what you all want to do, or give us the 411? What do you think?
That was probably our best plan because we've not had any luck here whatsoever. Also, just want to note that I've been coaching Riley on how to pronounce Louisville, and I'm very proud of him. He did very well.
Okay. All right. What was his original pronunciation? What did he say? Louisville?
Louisville.
Louisville. Can't be doing that.
Louisville.
All right. Well, you guys can head that way.
He's from
You
Wisconsin.
guys
ain't
can head that way. Or you can go south to Lexington. It's really going to be up to you guys. Just park somewhere where we can see a cloud and keep us updated on what's going on. Okay.
Sound good.
Thank you. All right, so guys, I don't even know what we're going to call that thing. The Y'all-mobile is in Cincinnati. It's departing and it's heading south and west towards either Louisville or Lexington. As it looks like the action, for the most part, is moving in that direction as well. If we take a look at the current landscape, we've got only one tornado warning currently in effect. Okay, that's going to be from Seymour in Indiana. Now that is a very interesting looking area of rotation. So if I'm in New Farmington or Chestnut Ridge, I would definitely be taking shelter. And then, but everything else, all of the other considerable severe thunderstorm warnings, all of the other big areas of rotation are occurring even farther south and west from that. So the storm approaching Louisville, these storms back here near Tell City and Owensboro, these are the ones that we are watching. Whereas earlier, they were all up here. So I'm seeing a trend. The tornadic parameters are going to kind of shift south like this throughout the night tonight. So we'll definitely be watching this area very closely as we go farther into the future. And I don't want to discount the severity of these storms up here in Michigan either. These are definitely still packing a punch. We got 60 to 70 mile per hour winds getting ready to move into places like Napoleon and Ann Arbor in Michigan. Make sure you guys are ready for that. And then eventually these storms will also move into Toledo as well. Taking a look even farther south, we've got Atlanta and Birmingham in the crosshairs here of a potentially significant storm getting ready to come down through.
This storm's not done.
Portion of South Carolina,
after what I just seen,
Georgia and Alabama, as a big line of damaging winds is kind of moving down through here right now. Mostly concerned
lightning
about
shooting out the top of the
even
anvil.
is going to be small in a lot of these storms. Okay,
Did you not see it?
Anderson, South
I was
Carolina,
looking at my phone at the
you
comments.
guys are getting ready to get in on that in about 30 minutes or so. Athens, Atlanta, you guys have probably got an hour. And then Birmingham, you guys might get past. Birmingham might not have any problems whatsoever here, but there is a very real chance that some of this will fill in, and we'll see some of that really strong, rain, hail, and wind move through a little bit later tonight.
Right there. Little LP coming out from the end of it, right at the bottom.
As expected, these
See
things have
that?
continued to blow up. They're
That's the
dropping
LP
huge
little
hail. We've got
LP hook
destructive severe
that's coming out.
thunderstorm warnings down here. Little Rock, get ready. In an hour or so,
Look on the
things
camera.
are going to get wild in Little Rock.
You see
Just
that?
giving you an early heads up. And of course,
That's
we've
your
got an
LP
update from
hook
Andy. So go
that's
ahead.
extending out.
Thanks, Ryan. I'm just looking at all these storms still. Wonderful job by the National Weather Service there in Louisville to not have tornado warnings on these yet, as they're not exhibiting tight rotation. So they're doing a great job making sure they're most up to date with what's going on here. So of course, I'm always thinking about the National Weather Service. Want to make sure everybody is giving huge props to them. They work these really busy, stressful shifts alongside us here. We work together. What I'm going to say is something that's really interesting to you right now. Is what I'm noticing here on the photographs, or the graphs that show us the wind direction and speed with height and as you go up in the atmosphere, is as you get more south into Kentucky, the storms that are super slippery start moving more to the south. So if we watch the loop back of this storm that is approaching Louisville from the west here, it has started to arc more to the south, and that's presented on those photographs there as you get into the state. So it looks like this will pass to the west of Louisville and then to the south of Louisville, closer to Elizabeth, West Point, as it goes into the state of Kentucky here. And we may see some impacts here of hail perhaps in the west metro area and on the Indiana side of the border especially. So that's something really interesting I'm noticing with these storms, is that they begin to move more to the south, just in line with those photographs that I'm looking at here. The really interesting observation of the storms as they progress.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, meteorologist Andy Hill. If we look at that loop once again in Louisville, you're seeing the dark clouds. You're probably starting to hear the thunder. The core of the storm, the strongest part of the storm, does look like it's going to miss the majority of the downtown metro area of Louisville. So that's a good sign. There is another one behind it. At some point, Louisville will get in some severe weather here, but we're hoping that this continues to kind of shift off to the south, and the biggest part of this one is going to miss Louisville in that way. But once again, Elizabeth, Lanesville, Pleasure Ridge Park, Valley Station, all of you guys are going to be in the path of this storm that will continue to rotate and continue to cause problems with big hail as it comes in. Remember, this one's got a considerable severe thunderstorm warning in effect with it because of potentially hailstones up to the size of 2 inches in diameter. Okay, so hopefully the rotation continues to be broad with that storm. Hopefully we don't see any sort of tightening up with that, and we won't see any new tornado warnings. But if there is one, just make sure you're ready for it in those places that we just called out, because things can change very quickly. Very large hail getting ready to move into places like Nebo and Madisonville and Burlington, Kentucky. Okay, close to 2 inches in diameter. Same thing for you guys over here in Calhoun and Livermore, Kentucky. These storms are just now kind of popping up. You've got huge hail cores in them, and they are looking to drop some, at least golf balls, as they move into the western Kentucky area. Back here towards Indianapolis, we've got some new little cells popping up just to the south and east of town, which is actually behind our main area that we were concerned with. It'd be interesting to see how much the atmosphere has recovered back here, and whether or not this is going to be an area that we have to be concerned with. The formation of new severe thunderstorms, but we'll be watching that closely, as this is the area that will be going towards Cincinnati eventually as the night goes on. Now, we did just get a new tornado warning. This one is the storm that keeps on keeping on. It popped up way back here near Terre Haute, and it went through Bloomington, and now is all the way down here near Seymour. The brand new warning was just issued all the way down to Comiskey
That's the
and
one they
Lubbock
should go after.
for this area of rotation right here. We've got a pretty storm here near Newry. That's going to be moving towards DuPont and Walnut Ridge here over the next little bit, so take shelter now. Some of these storms to the south of that are actually rotating more than that, but it's a little bit broad, right? The rotation is kind of spread out throughout the storm more
I'm starting
so.
not to like this storm
and that
at all.
means that we may not be looking at as much of a tornadic threat in the immediate future. But man, this storm with
People are
definitely some
saying
damaging
in
winds,
chat
and
how it's,
the
got
slightest
dark
little
off fast,
change
so
here in
we
the
don't know
direction of
where
that
we're
wind flow is going to try to wrap this up as we've got a strong, a supercell moving down towards Corydon and Lanesville in Indiana. All right, let's see here. We've got more damage reports coming in from Greenwood, Indiana. Look at this. This is from JT on Twitter. Significant roof damage there. Yeah, so this looks to me, I can tell literally just from,
We might go to Shepherdsville.
look at this is the that satellite
Sit
image
and let it
that
run
we
us
were
over, see if it
looking
does
at
anything. If
earlier.
it
So,
don't, then we're going after something else.
yeah, near Greenwood, Indiana. This is some of the damage that we're seeing out there. So JT, thank you for sending this in, and I hope everybody's all right. It looks like the houses are mostly intact, but definitely significant damage there. And thank you guys for sending in your stuff. There's so much stuff coming in through Twitter. I really appreciate it. We are missing nothing. Thanks to you guys. Safely.
Just like that.
Yeah, we have received reports of significant home damage and stuff near the Greenwood area. Riley, are you trying to come through? Give Riley a second here. Okay, we're gonna try to let.
If this one don't do it here in the next little bit, we're gonna go back to that one.
Yeah, just a really quick one, Ryan. So just trying to keep you all updated, of course. As we talked about, Fort Johnson County is the worst damage we've seen so far. We've not really seen a ton of other news come out of these places so far. However, we do have a combined county feed that is in southwestern Indiana, where those numerous severe thunderstorm warnings are. So we are getting some reports come in of trees down and stuff. We can't exactly pinpoint which county, but they are the cluster of severe thunderstorm warnings that are in southwestern Indiana. So of course, take those incredibly seriously as well, because they are causing damage. We have had a report of a tree on a home thus far from these severe thunderstorm warnings. So again, just a note of caution, take these very seriously as well.
The hill core is almost non-existent in this one.
Try to contact Riley again.
And as soon as I say that,
Trying to come through.
it's splitting. That's exactly what this one's doing. You see that?
Yeah.
You want to come through on Zoom?
Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Can they hear me? Okay, I don't know if anybody can hear me, but we're going into the lakes and we're running low on chicken nuggets and gas. I'm not sure which one's worse. It's looking like the chicken nuggets, 10%. So we will Yeah, just let me know.
Okay, thank you. But anyways, they're on their way to the south to try to intercept some of these storms, or not really intercept them, to just kind of to be there, just in case, the y'all squad or something like that needs to be in a certain position at a certain time. They're also helping give us the point, a bird's eye view of some of these storms as they come in, because we come.
Hey Ryan, it's Chris. You may be able to verify this for me. I'm looking at radar on this storm coming into Louisville. Almost looks like visually that storm may actually be trying to split, especially where it's trying to make that southerly turn. This storm has a lot of momentum in front of it. It's an absolutely gorgeous storm, but this is the one we're going to be sticking with. But it looks like it may actually be trying to do a little bit of a split.
They're just to the south.
Almost looks like visually this storm has a lot of momentum in front of it. It's an absolutely gorgeous storm, but this is the one we're going to be sticking with. But it looks like it may actually be trying to do a little bit of a split.
Okay, so that was an update from Chris, indicating that, according to radar, it does look like the supercell that's approaching Louisville is trying to do a little bit of a split. What that means for downtown Louisville, it's not that important, but what it means for the overall, trajectory of the supercell is, it could mean that this is going to try to recycle again at some point as it continues to move across the Ohio River here soon. I do think that there's a good chance, because of that split, there's a better chance now that some part of the hail core, or maybe whatever this new storm's hail core looks like, goes over a more populated area in Louisville. So I would just be ready for a pretty good storm in Louisville over the next little bit. I think the really dangerous part of it, the potentially rotating part of it, is going to go south of town.
We've got to stop
because
letting
of
this
this
window
right
off.
here, you guys see how it's kind of split in
That's
two.
even worse.
Because of that, we might be on the way of heavy rain and hail if it continues to
You see a
go
lot of
in
it
that
right now on the bottom camera.
We are down to one. We are down to one tornado warning right now. I think that we're definitely going to see more, but we're going to take a deep breath as we, kind of get our bearings together here as we wait for this next round of warnings to come through. Once again, we do have some really strong storms moving through Michigan as well. We've got warnings out here from Clinton to Alma.
This is something you don't see a lot of right on top of us.
Issued
It's called
one
Mattis
for
clouds.
Toledo, Monroe, and the Berlin.
You only see that in like the strongest of
between
storms.
Ohio and Michigan.
Pretty much
These
it's
are really
booty
strong
clouds.
storms, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bowling Green,
That's
Ohio,
quite literally
and
what it
Ohio
is.
ended up under warnings as well, as they continue to bow out and move farther and farther to the east. Indianapolis, you guys have got some hailers popping up to your south and east. I think that these are going to try to
Yeah,
make it
traffic
into the Cincinnati
stopping.
area, but for Cincinnati,
Nope, just
so
slowing down.
far, the way that this evening is going is it's looking like it's trying to miss, like the biggest part of the storms are going to try to miss that area. So thank goodness for that, but we're watching these storms back here just in case something changes with that. Don't let your guard down just yet. Unfortunately, Louisville, Kentucky, you guys are in for probably several rounds of severe weather here. It looks like this first storm that we've been watching for so long, the strongest part of it's probably going to miss downtown, but definitely some part of it is going to go through the town, and I do think we're going to see some hail.
Yep, it is
and stuff
splitting
like that in Louisville here within the next little bit, so make sure you're ready for that. And we just got a new tornado, and it's, once again, with that cell that we've been watching for so long, it's now moving out of Seymour and into Lancaster. So we've got a tornado warning for Lancaster, DuPont, Deputy, and Smyrna in Indiana now. All thanks to this area of rotation near Uniontown, just crossed over Interstate 65, and this is lining up pretty well with Madison Madison, Indiana, in the area between Carrollton and Bedford there. So make sure you guys are getting into your safe spots if you're in that polygon there. And I mean, I would not be surprised if we saw another polygon popping up on this
Lightning has
storm
been
to the
detected
south
with a
and west
15 miles
of
per
Louisville.
location.
Not anytime soon. It's just, I think what's happening is the southward trajectory
Look out your window.
of this storm has kind of once
That's your
again
mammatus
messed with
clouds.
the original balance that we had there that was making it a supercell. So a lot of the rotation is very broad, and hopefully that continues to happen here. But still, Louisville, it's starting to rain now. That rain's going to get heavier, and potentially the hail and all that other stuff's going to start here soon. You're not even under a severe thunderstorm warning though yet. We'll see
It says
if
it's getting right here
extend
at
that warning off to
6:13,
include
right here where we're at.
Georgetown, Chivley,
So-
and New Albany here within the next little bit. And then some of the more intense storms are still occurring way back here near Calhoun, Livermore, Madisonville, and Earlington in Kentucky, as these are still packing a punch with up to 2-inch in diameter hail. A little bit to the north and west of Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Hail. Told you those would be hail, big hailers.
Speaking of Kentucky, we should consider a severe thunderstorm warning. Jefferson County,
Yep,
Kentucky.
Louisville.
There it is. So now Louisville is under a severe thunderstorm warning
Tornado possible?
for 1.75 inch in diameter hail and 60 mile per hour winds.
Did it say the tornado possibly?
A tornado is also possible.
All right, guys, we're on a considerable severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tagged.
Just reading some updates here. Lots of them to read. Okay. Interesting development here from the Storm Prediction Center, guys. We just got a brand new SPC update. Cincinnati, Louisville, Lexington, Elizabethtown, and Owensboro are included in this. This is mesoscale discussion 1264. Increasing tornado threat through 2Z. A strong tornado will be possible. So it does look like our tornado threat is actually from this point going to increase as these storms move into.
Hey, Ryan, we are almost into Shepherdsville, Kentucky. We're about to have a view of a storm. They did just warn it, severe, considerable. However, it does have a tornado possible tag, so we'll have you a view here probably about 10-15 minutes. Kentucky, we're about to have a view of a storm. However, they did just warn it, severe, considerable. However, it does have a tornado possible tag, so we'll have you a view probably about 10-15 minutes.
All right, that was an update from Chris. Update from Chris Hall out there near Louisville. He's going to give us a view of this thing as it moves in.
Wait, we're not going towards
Field crew.
Shepherdsville. What are we doing? I missed the turn.
They're trying to get that back up now.
Jesus, I have my GPS on, not you. You went 15. You went 10.
On towards the storm,
Tornado
sorry.
is
If you keep going straight, you can go to the sanatorium.
that we're seeing out of
We got to get
Indiana
south
today.
of it or we're going to be in the hail core.
The one
Turn around.
the one video that we're seeing a lot of, it's at the top of my Twitter page.
Yeah, we passed the
Mine
exit.
a lot.
That happens a lot.
It gives me the vibes of the Andover tornado in Kansas that we saw not too long ago.
What?
Unbelievable that we're seeing that today in Indiana.
Do they?
And I see a lot of people in the chat asking about.
We missed our exit.
Radar.
I'm not
What
the smartest.
Radar do you use? What you've been seeing me use all day today is Radar
Chris is
Omega.
driving the short bus.
It's an app, literally an app. You can get it on your phone,
We got to
iOS
find
or
somewhere to
Android.
use the bat.
There's
Little
a
ladies
supporter of the
room.
channel, so you can get there's a
Do
link
you have
to it in the
to
description.
Yeah.
I
One
use
time, but I
this
don't.
radar to guide millions of people through some of the worst weather events that the country has to go through, and it's like.
Let's see what the weather radio's saying.
That really, you know, a lot of TV stations and stuff pay like $90,000 or more for the same thing. So it's really cool. That's what I'm using. That's what I rate on. That's what I'm
Expected hazard include all sides hail at 60 miles per hour wind gust. This is a radar indicated people and animals outdoors will be injured.
Yeah, we do have two warnings, but it's mostly associated with one storm. So it's the storm southeast to Seymour, one moving north and that's our one tornado warning, but it's kind of split up into two thanks to warning areas and all that stuff for the National Weather Service.
Chambersburg area. But tornado watch remains in effect until 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for South Central.
Gee. That'll make you pee your pants.
All right.
Rip to Jackie's ears again.
Rip headphone users.
Issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Harrison County in south central Indiana, west central Clark County in south central Indiana, south central Indiana,
Let's go.
south central Indiana, southeastern
I'm
Orange
just
County,
inside the
south
marker line for it.
southern Washington County in south central Indiana until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Take exit 10. That's all we're doing. So I said take exit 10. Nashville.
We can't hear you.
We're going to Tennessee.
Anyways, we are in Cincinnati right now, but I was just talking to Caleb, and we're debating on what the potential of these storms behind the main line
Literally
is.
just said go to that one.
Basically, we just don't know where to go. You say there's a lot of interesting factors going on here, and we're trying to also get to some part where we can see the storms coming into the west in Kentucky. It's not really working out.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, just keep me updated.
Take
and
71
we will check
south,
back in with
and
you,
you'll run into it.
periodically. Okay. Guys, the goal with the Y'all Mobile today and our field reporter and all that good stuff was for them to not storm chase, right? I call it, they're going to go down there and report on the storm Jim Cantori style. You know, Jim Cantori don't storm chase. He stands there and he waits for a storm to come to him. That was our plan with these guys today in Cincinnati. The storm might not be coming.
Jackie said I turned him down this time.
So, you know, it's not really storm chasing, but they're going to have to, like, probably go somewhere else. And also, we just had a terrible time with internet and satellite connectivity up there in Cincinnati for some reason. So the Y'all Mobile is headed south, and that's also where a lot of our focus is going with some of these other tornado warnings and warnings, like the one that's in Louisville now. To Andy, go ahead.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, something that I want to point out that's really interesting is I can see a direct reason for why we have several different types of storms going on right here. So you hear some of those warnings coming through for considerable severe thunderstorms. We have golf ball size hail. We're very close to it falling near Madisonville, Kentucky, and south of Owensboro. All of those storms down there are hailstorms because they are in an area of very low, very weak, low-level shear. So literally the first kilometer above your head, the first 3,000 feet, winds aren't changing much at all, which means that if this storm pumps up there into it and we have a bunch of ice crystals there, all that hail is just staying in the storm, growing larger and larger. You really need a lot more of that low-level shear. And then you go up the atmosphere.
Is there a good gas station here with a flat land
that we
view?
saw earlier. Further down south, so we're not getting that right now, which is the reason they're not tornadic storms, but rather hailstorms. Whereas further to the north and east, we have more of that low-level shear. It drops off quite a bit once you get to Louisville. So hopefully past that, we continue to see a drop-off in tornado potential, especially if we get into the evening here. But we'll just have to keep monitoring it. If that does ramp up at all, that's one of the main factors that determines the storm mode and also the hazards that these storms are presenting at this time.
Okay. Thank you very much, Andy. we are continuing to see, the developments of these storms. So we've got a big cluster of severe thunderstorm warnings and considerable severe thunderstorm warnings around Louisville. We've got the one tornado warning up here around Madison right now, and we're really starting to see those storms take off down near Little Rock. Hopefully the split continues to happen here and downtown Little Rock gets missed, but you can see just to the west of Conway, we've got a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for 3-inch in diameter hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds. It's hot out there, 93 degrees, and that's that big nasty storm coming in to what is that, Perryville, Arkansas right now. Make sure you guys are ready for that. Atlanta, you guys are also getting ready to get in on a pretty good little storm. Correct. Okay, we are looking at maybe some small hail and some 60-mile-an-hour winds moving down into the area. Same thing for you guys over here in Anniston, Alabama. I would just about bet Birmingham is pretty much out of the woods for now, but we'll hold our tongue a little bit there. That might change a little bit later. A lot of these storms, very strong storms, moving into the Detroit and Toledo area now, packing 60-mile-per-hour winds with them. Make sure you're ready for that. But for the most part, our strongest storms are focused around the Ohio Valley, the Ohio River between Owensboro and Cincinnati right now. We are concerned that, these are going to get stronger as they move down into the Kentucky area. And that's, the Storm Prediction Center is watching this as well. The tornado threat could be on the increase over the next couple of hours, and a strong tornado could be possible, in Kentucky and southwestern Ohio here. So we're watching this very closely today. And we're going to continue to watch that. And if you can hear me in the control room, if we can't get Riley,
that's what I was saying,
if we can get the mobile stream up, we should probably just put somebody else up there until we can get that up.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll wait till she gets done.
So.
And then pull up there. That way you have that open space.
My goodness. Look at this. Sorry, I can't show this. I'm going to retweet it. Yeah, just monitor that, Carly. Make sure that whenever they come back up, we throw it back up.
Has it getting here in 20 minutes, so we gotta make this little urine stop pretty quick.
Thank you guys so much. It's kind of overwhelming, but we do have a lot of confirmation behind the Crane tornado. And of course the Greenwood tornado, thanks to your all's vigilance on social media. Really appreciate it.
Maybe you go in first and then let him go in after we back out. And if you see like a crazy tornado come over the top of the hill, run in and get us.
Is this line of storms moving west to east or more west north to east south? So if you're talking about this segment of the line here, this broken segment, it's moving generally to the east. There are some cells that will drift farther to the south. There are some cells that will drift easterly. But this whole area...
Be back in a minute.
...moving this way. So that's why we're concerned about the western and central Kentucky area over the next little bit. Louisville, Kentucky right now should be getting in on some much stronger winds. That considerable severe thunderstorm warning is going to go on for the next 14-15 minutes. So get ready for some large hail there in Louisville, especially on the southwestern side, Chivalry, Parkland, New Albany, Duncan, all these areas. Definitely in the path of some strong storms there. Madison, Indiana, I don't know if they're going to continue this tornado warning on to you or not, but certainly a severe thunderstorm warning will be warranted regardless if this continues to go down the line here across the Ohio River. I see. see what they're doing now. How about you, chat? It's been a second. This has been one of the most intense starts to a stream we've ever had. I've had 0 seconds to look away from the radar until right now. Thank you guys for being here. We're obviously going to continue to do this coverage all the way through until we're not needed. Hopefully all these storms just die off right now. If that doesn't happen, though, we're going to keep going until at least midnight or so. But yeah, thank you for being here. And of course, thanks to our awesome members like Kimberly. Official sponsor for 14 months. Is East Tennessee going to see any action this evening? East Tennessee is probably going to see some action late tonight, early tomorrow morning, but it's not going to be very eventful. We're looking at some strong winds, maybe. Now, Central Tennessee, up there north of Nashville, up there near Brooksville, if these storms kind of congeal together up here near Madisonville and then dip down through Bowling Green later, that might turn into a damaging wind problem for y'all. Yeah, we do expect that there will be more tornado warnings. So if you want to help us get the word out, you can share us on social media, but like the easiest thing you can do is just hit the like button right now on YouTube. Act like this is a YouTube video. Go down there, hit the little button, the thumbs up, and YouTube will then think that this is like a good stream or something and start promoting it to more people. There's somebody out here right now in Madison or Smyrna in Indiana that's watching cat videos or something on YouTube, and they have no idea. They have no idea that they might be getting ready to be under a tornado warning, or there might be a severe thunderstorm warning coming. So let's pop up in there recommended and help them out. What do you say?
Did it freeze? Why'd it go back? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. If there's anybody in the live, I have no idea what is going on with the audio on,
This might be something.
You're right.
Right here, this is our storm to the west,
I don't
to
know
the
what
north
just
and west
happened,
of
but the
Louisville.
audio cut out for a minute on,
Yeah, it does
just
that.
in the past couple of frames there,
go back.
we have seen an increase in at least the outward winds in this part of the storm. Could be a little bit of a damaging wind event happening right now somewhere between Milltown and Little St. Louis in Indiana. But you can see this
Dangerous
is still a big
storms approaching current location.
and there's
Medium.
inflow coming into the storm right here. If that can kind of the rear flank
If
a little bit there,
this one don't do it, the
that
one
might
behind it
lead
will.
to enough rotation to lead to a new warning here.
If this one
To
don't
the
do it,
west
the one
of
behind it will.
Louisville, if there was a warning to be issued for that, it would probably include Overly, Corydon, and Lanesville. But it's too, we're just kind of like looking at future potential problems here. Everybody in the severe thunderstorm warning should be watching the storm, but this is the danger zone. That's the part that we really don't want to see.
Thanks,
organized
y'all,
too
for
much.
not letting my car get stolen. I appreciate it. Severe thunderstorm warning issue for current location.
NASCAR Cup Series tonight at 7 in Nashville, Tennessee. They just extended that thunderstorm warning, by the way, all the way out to Jeffersontown. Let's take a look at this.
It no longer has a tornado possible tag.
Jeffersontown. Give me just a second, y'all. I'm going to load up the forecast here. Go ahead, Andy.
So, Ryan, one thing that's happened here is I believe our radar feeds are behind just quite a few minutes here. It's about 5 or 6 minutes behind is where I'm at. I think you might be in the same boat. But I was getting ready to tell you about this rotation wrapping up near Milltown and DePaul, back behind this thing.
Talking about the one
now
we're
that
on.
This radar data might be a little bit old. That makes it even more concerning that we're able to get this information out, because we might see a tornado warning issued with that too. I could definitely see one being issued as I get these next scans. So our lead time is dropping because we can't get this data fast enough. But hopefully with what the data that we do have, we can get people, maybe out in shelter preventatively out ahead of this thing near Corydon in Indiana. So that's the area of concern between Crandall and Corydon if this does continue to wrap up.
Thank you very much, Andy. This is the storm that we're talking about. Yeah, we're not getting radar
It's
updates
inside.
as quickly and as
This
we
right here
normally
is all
do.
inside that.
So this
I'm not
could
worried
be
about that right now.
doing something else right now. Okay, and what this looks like
Everything's
is
screwing us because
potentially
we got
the first
cross over
stages of a new tornado trying to form up here. So just be ready around Fairdale, Georgetown, Lanesville, Corydon, Moberly, these areas in Indiana. There could be a tornado warning getting ready to come out. Even if there's not, there could be just a tornado trying to form up here, and we're just we don't see that through the radar yet. So regardless, there's definitely some strong damaging winds, some hail, dangerous storm. Get indoors and get ready to take shelter if you need to here.
I can get there. That ain't no problem.
As there definitely is a tornado possible with this storm as it moves off to the south and to the east.
I'm in neutral.
Speaking of
course.
the forecast, I was, while Andy was talking, I was taking a brief look at some of the models, and we've got an interesting situation coming up.
Really?
I don't know what to make of it
I
necessarily.
never touched it. It just went out.
Let me show you what we've done.
Oh, we gotta go no matter what. It don't matter.
So the latest ACERRR model. Now this is not the best one to use in this kind of situation, but it makes sense because we can show the composite reflectivity and everything. It's easy to explain. But what we see happening here, according to this most recent run, is pretty much all of the storms that we're currently seeing are expected to potentially die off as they kind of get choked on their own cloud here in central Kentucky. And then maybe, just maybe, we see storms start to form here right along the Ohio River once again, and then move back into central Kentucky between 7 and 10 p.m. tonight. If that was to happen, first of all, if that's the way that it goes, I don't think Nashville, for the NASCAR thing, I don't think they've got much of anything to worry about. Just keep an eye on those storms up near, Bowling Green right now. But if that was to happen, that could pose a pretty significant threat for places like Louisville and Lexington once again tonight, all the way down to Bowling Green by
It's
midnight.
this one that screwed it up. Yep.
That's
I don't
interesting.
know
This
what
is something that
happened
we'll
there.
have to definitely continue to watch. You can see there's a lot of favorable conditions out there right now for tornadoes. But just notice, according to this one model, those favorable conditions become more abundant actually as we approach 9 p.m. 10
So
p.m.
we're going back north after
Until this kind of line of storms comes through and bunches up all that energy as it moves off to the south. So very interesting to see, like, at what we're
This is irritating.
looking at for us to continue our live stream as long as possible. In the event that something like that does happen, we're going to be here when those storms
We're gonna run
start
into a
popping
little
up.
bit
So
of
this is
rain.
not over. Even for places like Cincinnati, it's not over. For places like Louisville, it's not over. Of course, it's not over for places like Bowling Green tonight. We want you to stay hydro weather aware until this entire system moves through. And Andy, you got an update for us. Go ahead.
Right, and to add one more to that, we just got the destructive spherical thunderstorm wave that came through that includes all of the Little Rock Metro, and that is for 80-mile-an-hour winds, in addition to both that size hail is possible here. as it approaches Little Rock from the north. So this has a history of producing 3-inch hail, but now this destructive warning is in place for the intense winds associated with this line of storms here. So we're going to watch that come through as we get a new tornado warning.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
So as that's issued, I do want to
Tornado warning for who?
Little Rock, anyone who's watching or may come in during this, they might once again we're in this destructive severe thunderstorm warning spot where they may
for our storm.
the tornado sirens go off through the city for a destructive severe thunderstorm warning to let people know who are at the reason for those sirens. If you do hear them come through at any point as these storms approach Little Rock and the metro area.
Andy, let's fly over to that new tornado warning, which does include Floyd County, Indiana, and Jefferson County, Kentucky. So this is the storm that we've been watching for quite some time. We've been worried about this area of the storm. We've been talking about how it could potentially produce enough rotation to spark another warning here.
I have to turn it a mile or I would. I'll get over though.
Parkland, Chivoli, you got in the southwestern side of Louisville, you got to take shelter. But more importantly, and more immediately, Corydon Junction, Crandall, King's Store, Breckenridge.
Sirens are going off in Louisville
Lanesville,
because of a tornado warning
Middletown,
to your southwest,
and
or to your west, sorry.
all you guys need to get to shelter right now is, I'd say the tornado sirens are going off across Louisville and all these areas right now. The reason for that is this big storm back near Fairdale has been rotating quite a bit, and it's expected to continue to do so as it moves down towards the Ohio River. And I really, I don't know if we've emphasized it enough. We started the stream off with a lot of action.
Look how tall that is.
A lot of that.
Look at that.
Things have kind of
Pancakes.
slowed down a little bit, but I think that at least
Because they're stacked like pancakes.
Storms get into Kentucky, and as new storms form,
Oh, you all are going to be able to see this when we turn the corner.
Activity as the things start to ramp up again. So make sure you're not letting your guard down, and you are still in the mode to take shelter immediately whenever these new warnings come out. What am I saying wrong now? Chivoli is Shively. Okay,
Oh, what
my
a
bad.
beast.
My bad. Pulling my home stick now. I can't even say the daggone name right. Shively. I wouldn't even try. I would just sit back and make fun of me. You guys know what I'm
You might as well come on over, broski.
I'm hopeless. I will try.
Are you coming or no?
Say it right from now on.
There you go.
So yeah, if you're just now tuning in, our only tornado warning now is in effect. It does Shively, includes Elizabeth, New Middletown, Lanesville, and Corydon. This is the area of concern, and if you notice, it actually doesn't look as concerning as it did earlier when there was no tornado warning. But what we are expecting is that something like that, another punch of the cool air from back in the storm, is going to try to race out and mix itself up with the inflow here, and we expect that that's going to happen again. Another maybe type or couplet of rotation is going to pop up here, and that might mean that there could be a tornado.
Okay, something was just reported in Corydon. Funnel. Reported 1 minute ago on our storm.
Right here, look at this. See that little indicator? That's Storm Chaser Bryce Shelton. My goodness, if there's going to be a tornado with this thing, he's going to see it. So let's get an update from him. Bryce, we've got you pulled up. You are in our only tornado warning right now, just to the north and west of Louisville. What you see, what you got eyes on out there, and what you're planning. You're going to sit there and let it hit you, or you're going to try to parallel this as it goes towards the south and east, or what?
Right now, I'm just trying to get a view of the storm for some trees around it. But eventually I plan to parallel the storm tracks up with it.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of hail.
Okay, so Bryce is, he's really in the path of the storm, so if anything happens there, he's going to be able to let us know. Yeah, lots of people included in this tornado warning. Hopefully everybody's in a safe spot.
Get the boat.
We are starting to get some hail reports out of Louisville.
See how much smoother it got?
We must have a lot of people watching right now in Louisville because that's about all I'm seeing on our feed.
We're almost out of it,
Remember,
I think.
only take these pictures and stuff when you can do so safely. This is the kind of damage that we've seen out here in Indiana. This can happen even with just even if there's no tornado warning today, guys. Damage like this can happen in a destructive severe thunderstorm with 70, 80 mile an hour winds, and can kind of come out of nowhere. You don't want to be outside during that. And speaking of severe thunderstorms, I do want to go check back in on Little Rock, because we have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for downtown Little Rock for the next 30 minutes or so. Right now it's getting ready to move into Conway, then Mayflower, then dip on I-40 into Little Rock within 30-40 minutes.
Mr. Mustang Man said we
Up
better
to
not
80
get a
mile per
tornado.
hour
I
winds
just
are going to be
fixed my
possible with
car.
this. Keep that in mind. And I would take shelter just as if I'm in a tornado warning for that. Go ahead, Andy.
I agree, Ryan. And something interesting has presented itself. A little bit of a radar lesson for those of you more in tune with the radar. From the Louisville radar, right over Shively and here in the southwest part of the city,
That's what we were
there's
just
actually
looking
a downburst signature.
That's
So where
what we
we
were
would
just
expect to
looking
see
at right there.
rotation here, we actually have more of a downburst. And this is not
That's
convergence,
right
but
there.
divergence. So this little pocket
downburst.
of red is going away from the radar,
Yeah, I
and
see
that
that.
low pocket of green
Color
that's got about
changing
55 mile an hour winds with
That
it is actually going
is
toward the
that
radar.
downburst
So winds are
right
coming
behind
apart
those trees.
right here, which means that some very heavy rain can cause
Your finger on my
small
face
hail,
now.
blinding rain that would reduce visibility here on I-264 on the southwest part of the city would be
That's the
ongoing.
downburst.
So little interesting radar signature there. for
Tornado
a
threat
brief,
on this one is medium.
In Louisville now, all the way down towards Heritage Creek, and probably some of those stronger winds and stuff right there around Shively, moving over towards Abaddon Park.
That's so distracting.
Our storm that prompted the tornado warning back here near Corey continues to look impressive. It continues to look concerning. However, the most recent scans do look slightly less so. But once again, it looks like it's probably just recycling again. We'll see what happens in the next 15 minutes as it continues to try to rear up. The pattern I'm noticing with a lot of these storms, including this one, is the storms are moving to the south and east. Okay, and they're rearing up. They're getting ready. It looks like they're about to put down a big tornado, and a lot of them have. A couple of them have, but the ones that don't, or just kind of falling apart, or they are recycling and trying again. This is one that's been trying again for quite some time, and the concerning thing is if nothing happens with this, if it doesn't fizzle out, if it doesn't go in, or if it doesn't get beaten up or beaten out by a bunch of others, it's going to try again and try again and try again until it does. So everybody in the path of this thing, whether you're in Louisville, Corydon, once again, Elizabeth, down towards West Point, Shepherdsville, even like deep down into Kentucky towards Elizabethtown and Bardstown, everybody should start paying attention to this because it does look like, nothing is happening yet to make me think that these storms are just going to go away, So keep that in mind. If they do, though, there's a chance more are going to form. According to the HRRR model, anyway. We'll see what happens with that. James.
That's what I was showing you last night from Texas, like 8 to midnight.
Just as bad in southeast Tennessee see, no, absolutely not. I don't think that at all.
That's a totally different road.
No, it's not.
Is it not? That is so distracting to me. I would run almost the road if I was driving right now.
I've seen a lot of people in the Louisville area say that they just lost power. Michael Kidd says, I swear she's gonna be a meteorologist when she grows up. Almost 8 months old and hates being
Tornado
interrupted
sirens.
anytime. Yeah, I can see it. That's a future meteorologist right there. I've ever seen that. You just know. You just know.
Yeah, the stupid sirens went off as soon as I started recording.
Yeah, if you're just now tuning in,
It'll
we do
restart
have
probably.
I repeat, one tornado warning. It's 4 parts of Louisville. Severe weather.
Get ready to hit your phones. Get ready to hit your phones.
Biggest part of hail core, or if there is a hail core left with this deleting supercell, it's moving through downtown right now.
Yes.
Now another very strong storm is going to come through here in the next little bit. The biggest hail core I see so far is around quarter size. There could be some larger hail with this other storm back here that's getting ready to come through the town. So it's going to be a 1-2 punch in Louisville. We are not done yet.
I need to find something that aims that way, because back there's where it's
Go
at.
back up to Michigan real quick. When we go to Michigan, I want to show you guys Detroit, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. So earlier today, when we were talking about these storms back closer to Fort Wayne, these were destructive storms. We saw some damage reports out of here. We had some very strong winds back there, and these storms continue to cause problems as they.
Hey Ron, it's Chris. We are in Valley Station. Tornado sirens are sounding in Valley Station, just southwest of Louisville. As they should.
Through Toledo right now, Bowling Green. They're about to get into Detroit, even Flint and Saginaw, all the way up to Bay City. You guys are all in the path of this big bowling line segment here, and damaging winds are almost certainly going to be a problem. But these are no longer. This one's I don't see any of these warnings tagged with right now. Winds is all 60. I want to replay that message from Chris.
Hey Ron, it's Chris. We are in Valley Station. Tornado sirens are sounding in Valley Station, just southwest of Louisville.
Okay, cool. Chris is saying that the tornado sirens are wailing there in Louisville. So we're going to continue to monitor that situation. If you're in Louisville, there's a tornado warning. It kind of eclipses the southwestern side of town. We're watching the storm that prompted that warning very closely. Right now, I have no signs that it's actually down, but it could be soon. So just take shelter. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, let's go ahead and take another look. As we lose our last tornado warning there, we are finally free of tornado warnings, just for a brief moment here after a really busy day. But something that's equal to weak tornado damage and widespread of it is just north of Mayflower, Arkansas, with an incredible presentation velocity just north of Mayflower. It's moving straight into the Little Rock Metro over the next hour or so. There's a pocket of 95 mile an hour winds.
Oh shit.
Which means down to the surface that easily translates to 85 mile an hour wind gusts if you do about 10 miles an hour difference every 1,000 feet. So, that is a pocket of incredible winds. And honestly, near this area, the last time I saw this happen was when we saw that weak tornado from the tornado emergency last year. Situations like these that are incredibly dynamic with super strong winds could whip something up really quickly, and that's why it's equally important, depending on whether that's whether Pulaski County Emergency Management will sound the sirens or not. It's extremely important to heed those sirens just the same way you would as a tornado warning, because these are incredibly powerful winds. Look to be focused
Another
right along the
siren.
path through Mayflower and Cato, Sylvan Hills down to Sherwood over the next 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Yeah, incredible signature there on velocity. Definitely looks like we've got some big-time damaging winds coming through Gold Creek, Mayflower right now. These will continue to come down towards Little
Tornado
Rock.
siren. I mean, tornado warning got let go.
Taking shelter once again, as it is a tornado warning. To add to that, there might actually be a tornado that tries to form here along this line. So make sure you guys are ready for that. And we're going to go back up to our Louisville storm very quickly. The tornado warning has been dropped. But if we go to our storm chaser, Bryce Shelton's camera, he's right underneath what was the rotating area that was prompting that warning. And you can still see that there is rotation up with the storm. It's just not nearly quick enough. It's not nearly strong enough to suggest that there could be a tornado here now. We also have storm chaser Justin Hillard in about the same area. You can see the lowering associated with that storm near Corydon there. No tornado right now, but the storm is still healthy. It's still, strong enough to put down, scary looking clouds like this one. And you can see there's a lot of rising motion there. You can see that the storm is not done yet. It's still intaking new air, and that's something that we have to watch as it continues to. And places like Shepherdsville, which just now got put under a new severe thunderstorm thing there. So make sure you guys are not letting your guard down. And then also, let's check in on our storm back here towards Madison. That storm is still showing some signs of rotation, but less so.
That's the one that was hooking up to
now, all the way down to Carrollton. Cincinnati, everything has just kind of skedaddled and skipped around you so far, but some forecast models are showing that more convection is going to try to pop up back here, and there's going to be another shot at potential big time storms through the Cincinnati area within the next couple of hours. So don't let your guard down just yet. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, and much the same situation in Little Rock that's ongoing in the northern part of the metro is actually about to happen for Jones. Destructive warning issue for 80-mile-an-hour winds and 2-inch hail. From the Memphis radar, you can see just as equally powerful pocket of winds here, but although much further up in the atmosphere, so those have the tendency to mix down, lose a little bit of their speed, but we have several thunderstorm wind damage reports there to the west of Jonesboro about trees down and hail being reported with the very gusty winds. So again, another situation where if in Jonesboro here in Arkansas and Craighead County, if they do sound the sirens for destructive warnings, that is the reason why you have a very damaging windstorm with hail also in it approaching your location. It's a great idea to be inside in the Jonesboro, Arkansas area.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Andy. Yeah, so you can see very clearly here how sharp the cutoff is between some of the weaker winds out in front of the storm and some of the really strong winds underneath the storms. Probably damaging winds happening right now between Pitts and Cache. That's moving towards Jonesboro, and that's why you're under that I'm just going to keep saying it. If you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, you should treat it as if you're under a tornado warning. You should take shelter. You should get into the basement. You should get into the most superior room of your home. This one in particular is going to have, maybe close to tennis ball size hail and 80-mile-per-hour winds. So you really can't treat that much different than a tornado warning. I mean, you got to take shelter for that. And we do have, I don't think we have a storm chaser on that right now. I don't know if we still have M-Finger out there or not, but Radar Omega does have a live camera here on a tower near Truman.
We're about to get eaten up by the hail core if we don't move.
So as that storm gets closer, we'll see the result of that as it moves in. Now, temperature in the upper 90s out here. There's a lot of heat.
Plus, it seems to be getting a LP hook on the bottom of it.
That's something that we're going to continue to watch.
If these don't do nothing, we're going back north up towards Cincinnati for this stuff that's supposed to be firing later.
Just something really incredible. incredibles happening here as the storm approaches the radar. Once again, damaging winds in this area between Gold Creek all the way down towards Hormel, and then potentially something might be trying to wrap up a little bit on this second. Is why you should treat a destructive severe thunderstorm warning as a tornado warning anyways, because something this could turn into a brief tornado at some point as it approaches the Sherwood area and Jacksonville just to the north of Little Rock. Everybody down here should be taking shelter, okay? So that's all Arkansas. Let's get another update from Georgia and Alabama. Atlanta, you are now seeing some of these strong storms move in. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning for the next 30 minutes, 60-mile-per-hour winds.
If y'all are just tuned in, make sure to slap that like button. We're in the Louisville Metro, storm chasing, one of the worst things we could possibly be doing.
Goes all the way down to Griffin.
Make sure to slap that like button. It's much appreciated. And if you want to become a supporter of the channel, it's in our pinned comments, our supporter PayPal and Cash App, or our super chat options available. It's all much appreciated.
There is a severe thunderstorm warning for Anniston, which is probably pretty significant with 1 inch in diameter hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Over there in South Carolina, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning just to the east of Anderson, and that's going to include the town of Friendship and Princeton. Let's come over to New Jersey. Yeah, New Jersey. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings right now in New Jersey. Tabernacle, early, about 60-mile-an-hour winds and some small hail. Even just to the west of New York City, we've got a pop-up storm that is potentially producing some 60-mile-an-hour winds there just to the west of Woodbridge near South Plainfield and Piscataway. I think I'm saying that right.
That was Latin.
So yeah, this is just I guess a teaser for what could be coming tomorrow as more of an organized severe weather threat will be present in these areas as as these storms that we're watching over here move further east. So back over to our main event, at least for now. We continue to watch these two cells that are just now crossing over the Ohio River in Kentucky. So we've had countless tornado warnings today in Indiana, and now we are seeing no tornado warnings except for that one. We've got another one getting ready to pop up on the screen. Get ready. And we're going to go back down and talk about that right here in a second. But I do want to update you.
Yeah, don't stop under an overpass.
It gets slapped again with another big hail core. This one looks a little bit worse. The new tornado has been issued.
Tornado warning has been issued.
With the storm, and it looks like we might have to start watching that one start rotating again.
Weird. Probably the one up towards Cincinnati.
Doesn't look as impressive now, but I'm still watching it. Okay, and then let's go down to Little Rock, where they have just issued that tornado warning. Doesn't include Little Rock.
Nope, Arkansas.
Really, the northeastern side of Little Rock, Sherwood, Jacksonville, Tower Hill Edition, and Cannon Gate Edition. Take shelter now, y'all, as this is going to be quite the storm.
There.
Even all the way down to Redfield and England, they've issued another destructive severe thunderstorm warning.
That's where that little hook-looking thing, like LP as shit, is right back there. You see that?
Yeah. We've got an update from our field crew, I believe. What do you guys got? Yes.
I'm going to Elizabethtown this way. Huh. Look at their forecast verified. We ended up chasing here anyway.
Okay, wait. So the microphone is not working. The microphone is not working.
Yeah, it's got even higher. It's 375. My God. Good thing I filled up when I did. Did you not just see the dealership we passed? That's that dealership that guy works at.
Keep driving.
You remember the guy messaged me and said that he works at a dealership in Louisville? I bet you that was it.
You guys are ready, okay? We've had an unfortunate day, and y'all have been out there an unbelievable amount of technical difficulties today. I feel so bad for those guys. But they're all right, and they're on their way to Lexington, Kentucky, where we do expect to see more storms tonight. Hopefully, get everything worked out before they get there.
far enough south.
Stop here.
I mean,
Yeah, I could hear them. It was just coming through the phone microphone and not the.
this would
the
be a good
actual
video
microphone,
for you.
So it was hard to make out what they were saying.
I was thinking that, but I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get up. I'm so tired.
Go ahead,
Dude.
Andy.
Here, Ryan, just updating you on the Arkansas storms. There's a chance for the Jonesboro, Arkansas storm. Maybe have a tornado warning.
Rising
also
stud.
on the northern side. This is a complex that's extremely damaging winds with it that's being pushed from on that northern side is where we can see this the counterclockwise rotation that could lead to a tornado warning up here that would go just north of the just as it is now in Little Rock, with these storms reaching locations. Basically everybody in the Northwest is probably widespread in local pockets of 80 to 90 mile an hour. It's going to be really, really
This one's
outside.
outflow dominant.
Anybody outside should be inside and away from the windows in a case like this.
Okay, thank you very much, Andy. Looks like, you know, one of the stronger storms of the day is getting ready to move into Jonesboro. 80 per hour winds, 2 inch rain, possibly larger. Potential spin up tornadoes up and down this thing. Jonesboro winds to brace for impact.
The storm may be trying to wrap back up.
So, yeah, hopefully this island's going to that good stuff. Same thing in Little Rock. Radar is being overtaken right now by the front leading edge of some of these damaging winds. And we're seeing some, just once again, really, really interesting returns here on the velocity, indicating that we've got damaging winds currently occurring between Cato and
Nice one, Madison, in front of this too.
Homestead, and it's get ready to move into Macon. All of this is going to come right into Little Rock, Sherwood, Jacksonville, Camac Village. All you guys need to take your shelter because parts of this
To your left.
are included. It's like a tornado warning. The rest of it is just as bad. With 8 mile per hour impacting very large.
I wish they would cut that bush down.
Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
Maybe
Hey
not.
Ryan, out ahead of time, just in case there's a warning issued up here in the Detroit metro, it does seem like, and the meteorologist Ben Price is backing me up on this, that he thinks that there is a spin-up tornado that just occurred in Dearborn Heights and Dearborn, hopefully very weak, but that's right outside of the city proper, northwest there, so that is warned there. Brief spin-up tornado.
That's
might
just,
rain.
yeah, it's just rolling your window up.
area of possible tree damage, minor damage. So just be inside for that. Out ahead of it in Warren, St. Clair Shores, East Point on the northern side of the metro.
Thank you very much, Andy. Detroit Metro getting ready to experience a strong, severe thunderstorm within the next little bit, and it may even be capable of producing a brief tornadoes.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be prepared for that, as literally within the next couple of minutes. It's gonna be
He rolls the
coming
window back down.
Also, Toledo, the worst of the storm is over for you now, but now we're starting to see these stronger storms move into places like Port Clinton and some of these other areas that were hit hard.
I
the
would
other day.
suggest rolling that back up soon as
No
possible.
tornado warnings or anything with this right now.
How much you want to bet their
definitely a very strong
little sign
storm
on that store
into
flies away?
play in the next little
The
bit.
one that's
So
already fallen off.
go ahead, Carly.
Yeah, Ryan, just
I don't
quickly
think
letting
this
you know
happened
we have
before.
a report coming from the Little Rock tornado
Says
warned
Kristen.
storm. A funnel was reported to be observed over that Cabot area.
I can get out.
Thank you very much, Carly. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly what's going on around here right now, but
You
I'm
may
sure
have
it's
10,
chaos.
15
Sylvan
seconds.
Hills, Oak Grove, very strong winds. That's all getting ready to move right into the downtown Little Rock area. get ready for, seriously, 60, 70, 80 mile per hour winds, possible embedded tornadoes, all of that stuff. You guys have got to, batten down the hatches here in Little Rock, all the way down to Redfield, England, Carlisle, Onoke, and Hazel. Same thing for you guys over here in
Where did he go? Did he blow away?
Like some of the stronger
I don't
winds
see
are
him.
making it into town now, or at least within the next 4 minutes. And then Paragould, Big City, Truman.
He'd take his hat off.
All you guys are in the path of this thing as well. You need to be taking this seriously. In fact, they just issued a new warning that goes on.
Not a good time to ride in a motorcycle.
I'd be flying that way too. Jeez, there's the rain.
You better get in, it's raining.
So, we'll have to watch
It's
the
starting to rain. I know.
Millington area, the Covington area, as these storms dive off to the
Did you lock him out?
No, I unlocked them. We may see a little mesoscale action along that outflow boundary, a little quick spin up. This light's out.
Did it go down?
It's flashing.
Oh, it went down just now.
And Carly and anybody in the control room back there that can hear me, the service has been really good on the Zoom call for the past little bit, so maybe we can get a feed from Riley to fill in, even if it's just from the Zoom for the next little
He
bit.
called it though.
Let's see. Very strong
Blew my hat right off my head.
storm coming through Louisville now. I keep looking for potential rotation over around this cluster. But it looks to me like mostly this is a wind event right now. We're just going to have to continue to watch it. Louisville, you're experiencing a very strong storm, but I do think the tornadic threat is much lower
This is rotating right
than
here.
what it was earlier with some of these storms, so that's a good sign. And it does look like some of these, forecast models that we've been looking at are onto something. It looks like these storms behind the ones that we've
We're
been
going back
tracking
north
all day
as soon as this rolls over us.
are somehow, there's enough energy left over back here for these to
We're
start.
going back north.
So Crothersville,
Storms up here.
Salem,
Supposed to come
once
after.
again, Scottsburg.
They're doing it.
We've been through this already back here in Indiana. More storms are forming back here, and according to some of the more recent forecast data, these could actually grow pretty quickly and become our main event at some point. It's currently 7 p.m. on the East Coast.
You want me to step out
According
and
to
record some,
the
Chris?
latest run of the
Yeah,
H-R, which is what we use all the times to show you that composite
That wall of rain is maybe half a mile down the road.
future radar.
I'll
Between,
step out real quick and record
I
some.
would say,
It's whatever you want to do.
Hand me the phone.
Oh, you do it on yours. I'll get it on mine. Yeah.
11 p.m.
You just let me know when you
All I got to say is look in front of you.
Favorable conditions for tornadoes that we've seen all day. Down here between Louisville, points south towards, let's say, Campbellsville, Bowling Green, that general area right there. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, Ryan, do you copy?
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Just to give you a little update, I'm headed toward that Crothersville storm.
Okay, so we've already got storm chasers on it. No matter what, new storms, old storms, we're on it.
You can see the rain curtains over there.
Yes! Reports from Arkansas. I don't think we have a whole lot of people watching in Arkansas, but I do see
We're getting ready to go back north. This storm's not going to do anything besides a big wind bag.
strong winds out ahead of the storm. Remember, you got to take shelter, guys. haven't heard anything from Jonesboro just yet. But you can see on, if you guys are on the Radar Omega app with me, this is the Jonesboro storm. If you click on this little icon here, if you have the button, click on that. You can see very clearly where the damaging winds start.
Here comes fire department.
Got a little bit of shelf cloud here.
There goes fire department.
Strong winds coming out from under the storm here. This camera is going to take a direct hit. And of course, we do have the rainbow there on Justice Street, and the lights are purple. So we have an update, I believe. Okay, guys, what do you got? It's not coming through that microphone, but I can't hear you. Just talk really loud. Just talk really loud. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Direct me to Cincinnati. Oh, whenever that gets done.
Yeah, let's try. The struggle will help. Yeah.
That's all I have. But I have this little thing right here for you guys.
Wait. I don't think they don't understand how much that one is. That Andrew just flipped the camera on the working out. I'm not even kidding. That might be the first time I saw Dave list 20 or 30.
Hey Ryan, it's Chris. We're south of Valley Station. This storm, I believe that's when outflow dominant. It's got a leading wall of wind south of it, pushing way out ahead of gusty 20-30 mile an hour. We're going back up towards Valley Station now. The heating's looking good. Probably going to get a little higher here. We're going up back towards the Louisville Metro. Seeing some winds down, a couple of road signs that's been blown over. But this storm, it is definitely windy, but I don't see a tornadic threat with it as of now, especially with it being outflow dominant. Yep. Look at that sign.
I know.
So do I go straight to get to Cincinnati or
I'd
what?
love to tell you, I don't have service.
Oh.
Look at all the people stopped under the overpass.
So that was an update from Chris talking about our outflow dominant storm here. Still, still interesting. It's still a storm that could try again to become tornadic as it moves to the south and east of Louisville. I'm not certain as to whether or not that's going to happen, but we have to remember that the Storm Prediction Center, the instrument alarm model, a lot of things that we're looking at are pointing toward the rapid increase in favorable conditions for tornadoes in the city over the next couple of hours. It's said on the East Coast by 11 p.m. tonight. Between now and 11 p.m. tonight, we're going to have favorable conditions out here. So any storm that has this look to it has to be watched very closely as we go forward. So let's go back down to Jonesboro. Man, the storm's moving fast. Now here we go. This is a live look in the Radar Omega app right now. There's 200 of you guys watching along with me. This thing is getting
Right now, be your time to video if you're on video. Right now's your time to video if you're on video. You're not gonna have much longer of this. We're almost out of it.
Some of the strong winds escaping out from under the storm here. See here. That wind was kind of 50 miles per hour.
We're on the south side of Louisville. These size, yeah, not even these size. Getting pea-sized wind-driven hail here on the south side of Louisville currently in the Valley Station, and a lot of people are under the overpass blocking the road.
You can watch it in there.
Why?
So winds are sustained at 40 miles per hour, which is pretty nuts. Pea-sized wind-driven hail here on the south side of Louisville currently. Your Valley Station, and a lot of people are under the overpass walking. Okay, so that's going to be Storm Chaser Chris Hall chiming in from Louisville there. And we have an update from Carly.
I can't see anything that was coming.
Okay, thank you very much, Carly. So we've got damage reports coming in all the way as far north as Detroit. We're currently focused in on an area much farther south than that, way down here near Little Rock and Jonesboro. In fact, let's go back over here to Little Rock. Looks like the majority of the strongest part of that storm has moved past the downtown area now. In fact, there could still be some very strong winds, but now the strongest winds are going to be moving into places like Wrightsville, Toltec, Kiel here over the next little bit.
Gotta get over.
This camera right here is just taking a beating. As we're still probably about 5 minutes away from the strongest parts.
What?
Overpass. Look at them. That one stopped right so low.
The temperature has officially dropped more than 15 degrees, though, in just a matter of minutes. It's only sustained at 40 miles per hour now, but I think that's going to increase.
I'm gonna stop and let this run over me because we're running a big hill.
Checking back in with that. Similar situation going on.
We got 9 miles to go there.
But not quite as intense. And the same thing can be said for you guys down towards Madison, Griffin, and
We're almost out of it right here.
Got some big time storms heading your way. Birmingham, you're getting missed a little
Like,
bit.
look how clear it's getting now already.
Let's go back up to Michigan. Like the entire state of Michigan, we're lying through the middle of it is under a severe thunderstorm warning right
Like it's
now.
almost done.
Steelwater, Knoxville, just line. Some 60-mile-an-hour winds and some small hail. Flint also, you've got a couple minutes before the 60-mile-an-hour winds make it into your neck of Woods Bay City. Maybe closer to 20 minutes or so before they get to you. But they're on the way, okay? This line of storms is racing east. This is kind of fading out. It's probably going to make it into a significant portion of the end of the year. It's actually making it out to
Yeah, we're almost out of it.
Jonesboro camera is down. I think it's down.
I really miss my car. I wouldn't be stopping if I was in my car.
I'm waiting. I'm trying to see if it's going to give us anything else, but I'm probably going to come visit it again here in a little bit. And we're going to visit our storms up to the north once again as well. It does look like more storms are trying to right.
We're just going 60.
It probably looks like it's clearing up. It looks like, it's like things are shaping up to be a nice evening there. Unfortunately, Ramble 1-4 or 3 at least is forming back to your north and west. I am concerned about this part of our storm system being even more intense than some of the earlier storms that we've seen today.
It's how sunshiny it's getting now.
Because that's what some of the model data is suggesting. So we're watching this line right here form. Let's hope it stays linear like that. But even if it does,
Probably going to be a rainbow somewhere.
it's probably developed from this as it goes off to the southeast. If you have the radar on the app, you can see this little bar logo here, Lexington Network. So y'all are struggling. Whatever they've called it is currently are setting up to speaking from as much as ambush in Lexington there. Yeah, Louisville is in for another round of severe weather tonight. I think if these storms get delivered right here, I think that they're in for some more bad weather, unfortunately.
Blue skies right above us. That's not a good sign. Rainbow right here. Right here. Like we're going under it right now. Like we're under the rainbow.
Okay, let's fucking play.
Oh, my ears
We're
Oh, it ends right here.
Yeah, we're at the end of the rainbow. Double rainbow. Hey Ryan, if there's any good sign about today, currently on my feed is a rainbow. We are under the rainbow, quite literally.
I think I got a little wet and I shattered my phone screen.
Saw his first tornado today. Indiana. This is Luke's video. First tornado posted today. This occurred earlier this afternoon here in Greenland, Indiana. National Park is awesome.
There's a rainbow. We're under the rainbow. I'm attached to the rainbow.
I got a picture of the double and I didn't even know.
So cool, it's going with us.
So.
I ain't even looked at radar because I don't care. Following the rainbow. Well, there it goes over there now. Goodbye. Holy cow, look, the whole thing is on my screen right now. The whole thing.
That's cool.
Not yet, unless it's the hail falling. That was awesome. That's made my day. Yeah, like the whole thing.
That is so cool.
Like right here, we're under it. Because right there's the end. Like we're a window.
Watch for high water on roads. Well.
The rainbow is still with us, Ryan. I should put a spotter report, rainbow on the ground.
Rainbow on the ground. Hey, I love that still on your camera.
I know.
Is that your lab or?
No, yeah.
Comments on right now.
Nothing. Everybody's just watching it. More hail. It's getting brighter. It's a double rainbow.
Oh, you can feel real now.
They have mentioned that there is some structural damage, however, it appears to be updated if that changes in any way. Concerning about the reports of the
The dude's just laughing at us.
It literally comes down right here. Like still right beside of us. We're in Louisville, Kentucky. Metro Louisville. Yeah, I'm turned here. As much as I dread it, we gotta go through Louisville.
Commands right here in the field.
Oh shit, I got the double rainbow.
We're going back under it. Look, right here.
Quite a few people.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're going to continue this coverage more so over the next couple hours. I believe is
Pull over and I'll get the photo of the year.
prioritizing making sure that any
Well, I'll get the photo of the year, but I'll get photo of the
The rainbow's on my back windshield. Send help.
the local metro in the next hour or so with the line of storms is covered.
Oh my God! Everybody under the overpass. Holy shit!
crap.
The rest of y'all in the tornado watch in the west central to central Ohio region are going over their severe Columbus
Oh,
state, and
tree
so
limbs.
it really doesn't look like we have had anything move through. And the reason for that, in case you're wondering,
What?
is a bunch of the storms earlier that did produce
It's
tornadoes.
deal with.
It's literally saying the same thing.
Chasing us, boys. Go!
We're supposed to be chasing the tornadoes, not the rainbow.
Well, I mean, we ain't got much other to do right now, so.
So stable there is good news to prevent these storms from
Chasing the rainbow.
in that sense. So great news. Hopefully we can calm down in Dayton and the Columbus Metro. Looks like our area of interest is being focused down through central Kentucky. For those of you in Nashville, I know a lot of you have been patient watching this broadcast today. Nashville, Tennessee is expected to get this line of storms that's now forming through south central Indiana in the midnight vicinity, maybe a little bit later than that, 1 to 2 a.m. Anywhere from midnight to 2 a.m. might
Look at
be
that.
some of your stormiest hours over there. Possibly another round in the early morning thereafter, so you might be woken up. If you're going to sleep there in Nashville, that's expected to be a damaging wind threat
Right in
as
front of
those
the rainbow
storms move
building.
through. So that's going to be
You can
the
still
case
see
for
the end of it
basically
behind us.
everybody in Tennessee, from Nashville over to Knoxville. If those storms do reach you, it's going to be a damaging wind threat first and foremost. Same is true for hopefully Lexington, Kentucky, to the south. Some storms initially are going to reach you soon, but I really hope that that tornado threat stays down, because we're not seeing that low-level shear I talked about earlier, which is great news. So, yeah, well, intense day so far. Thank you guys for being here with us so far, too. Much appreciated, y'all. Happy to help in any way. Just in case you're looking out for where I am, of course, there is the meteorologist Andy Hill channel. You can follow that too, and I do cover a lot of severe weather days like this that don't quite eclipse the tornado threshold and the tornado risk today that prompted this live stream and very much needed coverage. And much of the days that I've covered that have those lower risk levels
We
end
make
up being
rainbow
very
of the year, I
significant in
think.
their own ways. So that's a valuable resource, and I'm really happy to see a lot of you over there when I'm doing my thing over there. And Carly has been on there recently too. If you need another reason to go over there, that's a good enough one on its own. So it's been wonderful working with Carly over there. But yeah, still just waiting for these disruptive severe thunderstorms to give us some sort of damage reports again. It's moving right through Marked Tree right now. Large tree down reported in Marked Tree in Arkansas there. And the warning was extended to include parts of the northern Memphis, Tennessee metro. So that's the next 25 minutes for y'all. 25, 30 minutes as these storms approach from the west. I think the worst of the wind damage will probably go in the Millington area, right where the radar site is, and hopefully lose intensity by the time it gets there. It does look like it's not as intense as it has been, but these types of storms tend to be progressive, self-progressive, meaning that it's going to carry that damaging wind threat quite some ways. It's going to continue to be a problem, so I'm sure we'll hear Carly come through with any news on that as we get much closer to Memphis. I think that the worst of the winds will go to the north of Memphis right now, once again, but that threat can definitely evolve as we get closer here, so be weather aware in Memphis, Tennessee over the next 25 minutes or so as this gets closer and closer to you. And then you're going to be weather aware by default because these storms are like a lap.
Hey, whatever.
What do you think, Brian?
There you go. I agree. Thank you, Andy, for everything. I agree. I think that the vast majority of these damaging winds are going to be moving to the north of Memphis. We do have to watch
Rambo's still back there.
kind of pulling down, though, if you know what I mean. Like, this is probably going to try to take a more southward turn here, but at the same time, I agree with the Terrell, Millington area, Wilson, right in there. That's where some of the stronger winds are going to be, and that's what the National Weather Service is saying as well, with their considerable severe thunderstorm warning covering this area between Covington and Bartlett here. It sounds to me like we've got an update from Riley out there in the field. So let's see. What do you got, Riley?
Hello, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Alright, so we are somewhere west of Lexington now. We don't really know where we are, but we're here. It looks kind of lame above us, but we actually have anvil crawlers, so it's really fun here right now.
That's what we saw earlier.
I think we're gonna try and hang out here, and if we can see something or somewhere around here. We're having a really interesting time. Storm chasing, but trying to stay away from the storm. I don't really know how to describe the art or whatever we're doing. But if you look over here, we actually have the outfall boundary from an old storm. So this is probably not anywhere we're gonna see another storm anytime soon until that other line comes through. But for now, at least we have anvil crawlers because those are always pretty.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andy. Or I'm sorry, thank you, Riley, for that. And guys, they're going to be set up there in Lexington for.
God, no, what is that?
I guess probably the rest of the evening. I don't know if they're going to be in that exact spot or not. But we'll be checking in with them periodically. Hopefully, they can keep us updated on whatever's going on out there. Remember, the purpose of the All-Mobile and having these guys out there at all is associated with our nonprofit organization, the All Squad. We finally got to a place where we can actually not only have storm chasers out, covering these events, but people associated with our nonprofit that are kind of like in a centralized area that are able to, start talking to people and get into these towns that need help immediately afterwards. Gives us kind of like an HQ, a meeting point for everybody involved, which is very nice. And
Unplugged. The radar.
of course, leading up to that, let's look at what this says. SPC mesoscale discussion number 1266. The risk for damaging gusts and very large hail continues. A new watch may also be needed downstream. This is going to include down towards Pine Bluff, Cleveland, towards Greenville, Mississippi, El Dorado, Arkansas, Bastrop, Vicksburg, in between Mississippi and Louisiana. So, like I said, guys,
I'd say we go back to Shelbyville and watch these storms come down towards us and call it a day.
And all the way down to Louisiana, almost the entire length of the country there. Experiencing severe weather tonight, as this is one of the bigger severe weather outbreaks I think that we've seen in quite some time, especially on a population scale. Lots of people impacted tonight. Strongest part of the storm has moved past you there in Detroit. Flint, you as well. Now it's on the way to you there in Sarnia, Croswell, and Sandusky. Looks like these storms are also going to be making it all the way up into the top of the oven mitt here, up near Petoskey, Rogers City, and Alpena in Michigan as well. And these might make it all the way up there across the lake into Sault Ste. Marie.
They just hit each other.
Man,
Ford
this is
Ford's
quite an
airbags were
extensive severe weather system here. Things have slowed down a little bit, though, as far as the eastward progression of these storms in Ohio, and they're really kind of only scraping over the northern parts of the state. It's going to take a while for these to make it to Cleveland, if they even make it to Cleveland. It does look like some more new storms have formed behind this, though. It looks like maybe a round two could be coming into places like Monroe, Bedford Township, and Toledo, so we'll be watching that pretty closely. If I come down to southern Ohio, down here near Cincinnati, some big storms are popping up, okay? We've got a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued not too long ago for Riley, Oxford, and Hamilton in Ohio. This is going to have some large hail, 1-inch diameter hail, possibly even larger, and then another storm just to the south of that is going to try to make it into the northern areas of Cincinnati near New Burlington,
Yep, you're looking at the same thing we are. Half blue, half rainy.
One to the north of Lexington, one to the south and west of Lexington. I think that these are going to try to miss Lexington overall, and Lexington is going to end up dealing with this. Okay, so get ready in Lexington for probably a late night of severe weather. It might be closer to, it could be closer to 10 p.m. Or later before we see anything significant out here. And what is significant exactly? We've been hearing so much today about, big storms around 2, what's happening. This is what the HRRR was showing, convecting after these initial storms went by. It's happening, but the air is really not as unstable as what I think that model originally thought. There's a lot of rain-cooled air floating around out here. I really just don't see a path for these storms to grow exponentially. But they're growing right now, so we're going to watch them very closely. We're going to see what happens, and we'll see if things start picking back up with this secondary round of storms. But for now, we're just kind of watching everything really try to fizzle out as far as these first 2 storms go. If I'm not mistaken, the last couple of scans here on this storm near Owenton, Kentucky do look a little bit more impressive, I guess, with the amount of rotation that we're seeing on that storm. Still not anything crazy, but
it was, wasn't it? Oh my God.
Healthy. Also, this would be the exact storm that we're seeing the anvil crawlers from that Riley was talking about way down in Lexington. So lots of electric activity.
Hello from the UK. What?
Signs that it's trying to grow and expand a little bit.
I'm driving.
This one down here, closer to Bardstown and Bloomfield, is also showing signs of strengthening. You can see those brighter cores showing up, but not a lot of rotation indicated from that whatsoever. Let's go back down to the Memphis radar, and you can see that our very strong storm that we've been tracking with all those very damaging winds is still on track to cause some problems here along the Mississippi River between Arkansas and Tennessee, mostly around Millington. The northern side of Memphis is going to cut it close with some
possible funnel in Shepherdsville.
But I think the strongest
it's probably from earlier.
North of the city, up there towards Millington. Okay, so get ready for up to 70.
That storm looks maybe to be outflow dominant. It's gonna wind back, but
East of Little Rock, we've also got some very strong winds getting ready to move through Stuttgart, Altheimer, Humphrey, and Pine Bluff, with the strongest winds probably going to be focusing around the Stuttgart area. Once again, potentially up to 80 miles per hour, as this is one of the stronger storms that we've seen today. Back over to Atlanta, we've got some pretty big storms here near LaGrange, Hogansville, getting ready to come down into Griffin, Monticello, and Eatonton, sorry. Over the next little bit as this very strong line of storm continues to dip down to the south. Lots of power outages in Georgia, by the way. Over 250,000 people without power, as these storms have caused a lot of problems with, I guess you could say, damaging winds mostly. Stuttgart. Stationed in Millington. That's Stuttgart. Okay, sorry. It's all right. Okay, we've got an interesting tweet here from Blooded the Brave. This is a tornado that occurred earlier today, I believe, up in Indiana. Since Ryan Hall is who we watch all the time, we are grateful for him and all the storm chasers. I should have tagged him in the photos. Oh, okay. So yeah, it seems like these guys were too close for comfort, but they were watching the stream, so thank you for tuning in. that stuff. It's the responsibility that we take very seriously. I don't think we ever imagined that we would have this many people watching during severe weather outbreaks. But the responsibility is not taken lightly, just know that. I really appreciate it. We're trying hard over here. Yeah, the video that we saw earlier from Greenwood, the really high quality one, the one that looked like Andover, Kansas, is probably some of the best tornado footage I've seen in a long time. As far as just like the awe of like
Yep, 64.
nature or whatever, like just seeing the way tornadoes work. It's incredible that something like that came out of Indiana today. Continuing to watch our storm here near Owenton, Kentucky very closely. As there's certainly an increasing attribute to the storm. It's trying to reorganize. It's trying to reorganize. I don't know how successful it's going to be. But I would be watching out in places like Sadieville and Corinth in Kentucky, as this might be the next area that we have to really watch out for, and eventually, potentially even farther south with these storms that just moved through Shepherdsville and Taylorsville. I'm currently moving into Bloomfield and Bardstown, Kentucky. We might have to watch out for those as well in their continued kind of uptick in strength here as a second breath of life is being kind of put into all these storms here. Very interesting to see. Here's some more damage. This is from Patriot Jones, southern part of Redford, Michigan, on our street. We're hearing a chainsaw from the next street. You can see this is up in Michigan, some of the damage that we're seeing up there. Lots of tree limbs down, lots of larger tree limbs down. It's really kind of crazy how much we're seeing here. The widespread difference in areas. How many hours have you been going, Ryan? You're doing a great job. I don't know. How many hours have we been going? You can see this is, I believe, 4. Just 4. We've still got some time to go. We are in what I would consider a little bit of a lull in activity here. I'm watching this area specifically. I'm watching this area right here very closely for the new developments that look concerning. If we go another hour or two without seeing anything, crazy kind of pop up out of this new development, then we might call it a night. But otherwise,
We're still chasing.
we're still kind of in the beginning of this thing.
Keep reading comments.
There's a live camera in Memphis on the Radar Omega app. Lots of them in Tennessee. Lots of them in Tennessee.
here, no. Out west in Indiana, there was a couple of tornadoes yet. Night's not over yet, though.
Looking through Twitter, sorry.
Welchie's in Madison.
What?
Welchie was in Madison when we were.
Who?
Welchie.
Does the Y'all-mobile have the ability to hear me live right now? They should. I'm just checking.
Hey Ryan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Used to live in Central City. I've been there a time or two.
If we can, let's get another update. Are you guys inside the vehicle?
You got something for us? Yeah, we just got back inside the vehicle. There's not much going on here anymore. It looks like the storm that we just went through is starting to die out. There's one on toward north that looks interesting, and then there's the other one that got something to do here.
Okay, we'll flip the camera around. Let's chat about it. Okay, so whenever...
Yeah, we can just screen. Alright, what's up?
Okay, so whenever the current rain passes by, are we going to be able to get the drone up, do you think?
There's like stratiform rain everywhere, so if we wanted to get the drone up, we'd probably have to head north towards the cell near Road 10, because there should be clear air there, it looks like.
Okay, well, I do think that there's a pretty significant clearing that's happening like right now around Louisville, for example. It's spreading over into LaGrange and Frankfurt. I think that it might take a little bit of time. I think that it's going to come over where you guys are eventually. And that might be something that we can do whenever that happens. But Chandra, I've got a question for you. What do you think about field reporting?
Need rain bad.
How's your experience been?
Keep reading
so far?
It's something good at all. I'm hungry. There's an update. Absolutely nothing in this car has worked. And that includes me because I'm a 75-year-old woman and I cannot work at stuff out. So there's that.
As we
Yeah, there's some stuff back building to the northwest of Louisville, so Louisville's not done for the night.
over the next couple of hours, you guys just feel free to chime in as much as possible. In fact, I'm going to be leaning on you a lot. So if you can think of anything to update us on or anything that we can cover from your vantage point, just let me know. And
Do you have any ideas of where you think that we should start headed to? We're in Lexington right now. Like, I would almost say that we're close to Keeneland, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know where we should head from here. Like, what would be the fastest route? Because it is getting a little dark.
if we want to get you guys into clear air before dark, probably the best thing to do would be to go towards Frankfurt.
That's what we will do.
All right, sounds good. Y'all be careful. All right, guys, that's Chandra Riley in the Y'all-mobile up there. Their original goal was to station up in Cincinnati and report Jim Cantori style from Cincinnati, but that didn't work out. And then, they're there just in case we need to do some sort of Y'all Squad thing. So we do have our official nonprofit organization called the Y'all Squad now, and we're trying to get more organized
Today
with
was
that
a bust.
and get into
Tim
position
had should have been
before the
further
storms
west.
even happen. So hopefully, thankfully, I don't think that we're going to need any sort of mass deployment kind of thing so far today. Of course, that's still yet to be decided. But this is something that we're going to try to do more often. And it would have been very helpful in the past. asking if the forecast busted. I think personally, I think that no. I guess it just depends on where you are. We had some big bad tornadoes today in Indiana, and that's kind of what was expected. But of course, there are some areas in Ohio that have seen nothing. So far, you know, there are new storms that are popping up. We'll see what happens over the next little bit. But man, this has definitely been a different kind of storm to track and forecast, to say the least. I think it's pretty disrespectful to call it a bust for all the people that lost their roofs tonight and the close to 1 million people that are without power. And you know, who knows what other kind of extensive damage came out of that tornado near Whiteland and Greenwood earlier. That was an intense tornado. I don't think we know the full extent of what's going on with that yet. And then also south of Jonesboro near Little Rock, lots of
We're gonna go further east
storms down that way as well.
and see if this stuff to the northwest tries to do anything. If not, call it a chase.
Is this one in the ditch?
Looks like they're broke down.
What?
I seen the guardrail and thought they wrecked.
I thought they did too. I looked down for 2 seconds. Where are we?
Are you going to be live streaming for the Northeast tomorrow? So, what it means, what it takes to get Ryan Holy on the stream. So, you know,
Towards
what we
Lexington.
do here on this YouTube channel,
Wait for them storms to come down. If they don't do anything, then I don't know.
videos to forecast these things ahead of time, and we do that. That's like the main focus, right? If you go watch a video on the channel, that's what we're working on here all the time. If we were to go live every single time there was a severe thunderstorm, we would never have time to do anything else, and we wouldn't be able to do anything at all because I don't make money off these live streams. 9 times out of 10, we lose money significantly. So it takes a lot of people and a lot of coordination and a lot of expensive equipment and everything to make all this happen. So what I want to do is make the videos as much as possible so that we can have a team and, you know, all that good stuff, and then reserve our live streams for only the upper echelon of severe weather outbreaks. The criteria that I think that we're going to stick with on this channel is we're going to go based off the Storm Prediction Center, and if there's a 10% hatched risk of tornadoes, we go live. And anything above that, we're going to go live. Now, sometimes if there's a moderate risk for wind, we're going to go live as well. But the main driving force is from the SPC, a 10% hatched risk of tornadoes, and that's going to be on the outlook for tomorrow in the Northeast, which I haven't even looked at the most recent update. Then we will be live for that. Otherwise, we'll have a video in the morning on the Extra channel. Go ahead, Andy.
Thank you, Ryan. I believe there may be a tornado going on to the northeast of Stuttgart in Arkansas near Ulm. It's about to be on the town. This is a part of that huge complex of storms being driven forward. I think there's a large debris signature there just outside the town. This is unwarned via tornado warning, but currently in the destructive severe thunderstorm warning. So I really hope that's not doing damage in that town right now, because there was literally nothing on the last scan. Like, that's something that's incredibly hard to forecast. So I really hope there's not a tornado ongoing through the town of Arkansas right now, but there might be. So hopefully out ahead of time we can watch out in Casco, Almira, Crockett's Bluff. But I just saw this out of the corner of my eye. I can't believe it.
Okay, thank you, Andy, for drawing our attention down here to Arkansas near Ulm. It could very well
Cap
be a big
one this
tornado
time.
going on right here.
Kill
We
them
don't know how
storms,
long that would last, but
we're probably done for the day.
move farther to the east or the northeast towards Roe.
All right, guys.
To Aberdeen.
Looks like we're gonna end the live stream here pretty soon.
But you are under a destructive.
Looks like the cap won in this area, so the storms were capped and wasn't able to bust through the cap and get all the available ingredients there. So
Stuttgart. This is why it is so important.
we're probably going to end the live stream here.
He heeds our warning whenever we say.
And if anything interesting comes back around, we'll start another live stream. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you slap that like button. It's much appreciated. And if you want to become a supporter of the channel, it's in the comments or our super chat option available. But until next time, we'll see you on the next chase.